Let's do it. All right.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Westerbros, the Westerbros Content Club. That's what we are right now. We're a content club, you know, like a book club, but only we fuck with different content. Right now it's TV, film. I think we got a book in us. I think there might be a good book that comes out that we could all get behind, watch.
Haney's a slow fucking reader, man.
Is he? Are you really?
It's bad.
Audio. I listen to books on
That
audio.
works. We could do an audiobook, maybe some slow
listen
shit.
to
But yeah, you know, documentaries, etc. By the end of this episode, we're gonna tell you guys what the next thing we're gonna watch is, and let's all watch it together. Let's watch it together as a family. You guys are all part of the Westerbros Content Club as well, and yeah, let's make it some weird shit. I don't know what it's gonna be just yet. We've all thrown out ideas, but let's make it some weird, some different shit that not everybody has seen. Something accessible, probably on Netflix, etc. But right now we're here to talk about Black Panther. Biggest 4-day release in the history. No, the second biggest. What were the numbers? Second biggest 4-day release
Biggest 4-day release.
4-day release.
in the history.
Made more than Justice League did in its entire run in 4 days.
Oof. Wow.
Boom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
$1 billion franchise or $1 billion movie, you think, eventually with
yeah.
overseas?
Yeah, it's going to get there. It's not there yet. Actually, let me look up what
Well, it's been 5 days.
No, I think it 230. I think they did 230 opening weekend,
Yes.
which is
that's right.
massive.
It was
Okay.
behind Civil War, though, right? Was that the one?
There was
far,
one, yeah. There was one that was ahead of it,
Yeah.
and it was in top 5 of all movies ever for an opening weekend. So
Yeah,
unprecedented,
just for inflation.
of course. But whatever. Well, that's we don't have to rain on people's parades. But I'm with you.
It's at 263.
That's right.
now.
Titanic came out right now. It'd be like a $4 billion release.
I still have never seen it.
Oh, that's right. And we never did the rom-com thing for.
Oh, shit. We totally dropped the ball on that.
I know. We'll figure it out. But anyway, let's. Oh, maybe About Time can be the movie that we tell everybody to go see.
I'm with it.
All right.
Yeah, well, we'll just make that.
Let's write movies throughout the podcast or things, docs. You had a good doc, Icarus. And we could just write down little things throughout the podcast. Please don't write on the table, Jack.
No,
Jack looked like he was about to carve it into the table. We're
I'm
not
writing
in
it down
public
right
school anymore, okay? Anyway, first reactions, Black Panther.
I loved it. I
You loved
fucking
it?
loved it. I loved everything about it. I loved the experience of going to the movie, it being sold out. I saw it on Friday, the Friday that it came out.
Wow, okay.
I was blown away. I was totally into the whole thing.
Were you a big Black Panther fan beforehand?
No. I don't think a majority of people were. I think this is the rare case where for the first time Marvel had a character that wasn't as well known.
Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's true.
Ant-Man, but Ant-Man had like that niche fucking audience. Like there was people that like really loved Ant-Man. I don't know if
Right.
anyone really loved Black Panther until this hype started coming out for this movie.
People acted like they did.
Oh yeah. People
Yeah.
act like they knew. Remember we were at Comic-Con, the guy didn't even know where he was from?
Yeah, I asked him.
You're like,
I don't know, dog. He's black.
Jersey?
Bro. What you want?
I thought he was from Jersey.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved the whole thing.
Killmonger was from Harlem in real life. In the.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, I looked that up.
Really?
So
Research.
Harlem, Oakland.
I read the comments on YouTube. I'm trying to step my game up.
Okay.
He's trying to get Star Wars level with everything.
Okay.
He's trying to become the expert with everything.
And anything else? I just want to get first
just
reactions.
Opening
for
first
everybody.
reactions, just fucking loved it.
I thought it was excellent. It took me a few days to digest it because it was really hard to judge the movie in the context of what the reviews were coming out. Not that I was like reading the reviews, but like you just read the headlines. It was like
Right.
Marvel's first masterpiece, and it was like just the expectations were through the roof.
Yep.
So I was trying to manage that while still enjoying the movie,
Which is hard.
And it is hard, but it's a top 3 Marvel movie for me.
Okay. Haney?
Oh, I loved it. It's probably top 1 Marvel movie.
Like,
I don't.
Alex just said
But
it.
I don't
You
really
just-
know.
yeah.
I don't really. I'm not the Marvel guy. I'm not the comic book guy. I
Right.
don't know any of this stuff. So just kind of going into all these movies blind, I liked it more than most of the other Marvel movies,
Okay.
and I loved it. I thought it was a really good movie.
I thought it was really good. I thought the supporting cast, the actors that were in it were fucking hilarious. That
Fantastic.
little
Really
girl, I forget
She's
her
the
name.
best.
She-
Letitia?
Letitia Wright. That's
Whatever her
real name.
fucking name is. She was so funny.
She was great.
The comedic timing was brilliant, and it wasn't easy hacky shit. It
No.
wasn't like every joke is it because I'm African.
No.
It was
Yeah.
it was witty banter and delivered, and every bit of funny was just wrung out of it.
Yeah.
Great. The guy Winston Duke, who plays the Jabari tribe leader, the big
Great.
motherfucker in
Kaz.
the gorilla
Great.
thing. Kaz, yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Real, shout out to real life Kaz. But he posted that picture. It doesn't look like him. But he was hilarious, and it was really good. Michonne, who played the powerful, army chick that kind
Yeah,
of protects
general.
him. The general, Lupita Nyong'o, is stunningly beautiful.
David Kuyula from Get Out.
I don't know.
Yeah,
his
yeah,
last
yeah,
name,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah.
David Keeley, I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he didn't. And the Claw, the guy who played Claw,
Yeah,
South Africa,
dude,
amazing.
well, Andy
Hold on.
Serkis.
So I have a
I
question.
see,
Is he the guy that does
He's
the
Gollum.
animated stuff?
He's Gollum. He's from Planet of the Apes. He's Caesar in Planet of the Apes. He's
Okay.
the go-to motion capture guy.
That's right. Was it you that was telling us about it, that he should be nominated for an Oscar? Somebody was making that
He
argument.
should-
that
he
for-
should have
you said
or-
that for Planet of the Apes,
He
right?
should have already been for the first Planet of the Apes, the first of the new ones.
Right.
But the industry still isn't there yet to like acknowledge someone who's putting in like they consider it like fake work, but it's real.
Right.
It's real. It's
But it's
actually even
legit.
harder. Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a job.
Yeah.
I thought it was all computer animation. I didn't know a
no,
guy
he's
does that.
actually out there doing all
It's
the
like
scenes.
2K when they got the dots on
Yeah,
them.
going back to Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. The worst part of Black Panther for me was Black Panther. I thought that Black Panther himself was so underwhelming. Black Panther in my at first I put out this video, and I said, Black Panther is how they're going to do this to the first black superhero. They're going to give him the worst superpowers. All he's got is a manicure, right? Because he had the claws.
Right.
And then people were in my comments like, no, you don't understand. He's one of the richest people. He's the richest person in the world, and he's top 5 smartest people in the world, and this, that, the other, da. And I'm watching this thing. First of all, he's puffy.
He was not that puffy.
He's
talking
puffy.
about?
I
What are
I
you
don't know about
talking
that.
He's
about?
puffy.
that
Oh,
puffy.
Michael B. Jordan. I'm sorry. Michael B. Jordan was fucking brilliant.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I'm not a Michael B. Jordan fan. And I'm not a Michael B. Jordan fan. I'm not. I think he's okay. He was phenomenal in this
He was
movie.
great.
He was
Great,
cool.
best villain in a Marvel movie yet,
edgy.
other than Loki.
Loki is the best. But I think he's up there. I think he's way better than
All the other,
Yeah,
every other one except for Loki.
yeah. Anyway, and he's up there with Loki. He really is. I thought he was that good.
I think he's a little more relatable than Loki because Loki's a fucking god.
Yo,
and
he's
like
way better than Loki.
yeah.
Okay, so
Way better.
just to finish making the point.
Yeah, sorry.
So so he's supposed to be all these cool things. The guy, and then it's like there's this Bond thing. Is he Bond? His sister does all his technology, etc. like that. That's like his IQ or whatever the
Yeah,
fucking
she
Bond
was
guy
phenomenal
was.
too.
She was
what he
phenomenal.
said.
That's
She
what I
was
was
in
saying
Black
from the
Mirror.
beginning. Yeah, she was amazing. The girl is incredible. So here's my issue with it. He's not exceptional at anything, right? He drinks the juice, which makes him good at jumping and fighting, but without the jumping and fighting shit, he gets his ass whooped by some kid
Not
from
great.
Oakland, right? So without the juice, he's whack.
Well, a
He's-
highly trained.
Sure,
Marine
but
from
you're a fucking superhero. Like, rep your team. Like, he almost gets his ass kicked by the Jabari tribe guy who's been up in the mountains his whole fucking
You
life.
want the superhero to be LeBron. Like you
Thank
just
you.
want him to come down and just
Right.
dunk
Exactly.
on
You know,
somebody.
and
want him.
you don't want him to be Mario Chalmers, and he's acting like Mario.
He's the
Chalmers.
most boring character in the movie.
Son, and here's the issue. You want for your film, you want the person that you want your star to be the person that guys want to be and that girls want to fuck. And after this movie, everybody's saying, "Oh, you know who we want to be in a couple? Lupita Nyong'o and who?
Michael B. Jordan.
You fucked up when the star of your movie isn't supposed to be fucking the starlet of your movie."
I disagree.
Okay, but let me just go through. Iron Man, he's supposed to be Iron Man essentially, right?
Yeah, it's like-
Iron Man makes his own technology. He doesn't have the sister make the technology for him, but I understand what they're trying to do.
Who cares?
It does. I care.
Okay.
Because he's got to be good at something.
Right.
What is he good at?
He's
Like,
a
good at being
billionaire
Black Panther.
who's inventing things and like.
but he's not inventing. Shorty's inventing.
Right, I
Right.
get that.
He's a
But-
billionaire, but he's not really a billionaire. He didn't have like this great business acumen. He
inherited
just
it.
landed. He's a fucking
But
spoiled rich kid.
Iron Man's only out for himself. He's a leader of a tribe.
Iron Man's not a fair comparison though, because Iron Man is coming up, like you said, with the technology on his own.
He's
The
coming on his
fairest
own.
comparison, and I actually wrote it down on my phone when I was watching it, is Black Bond. He's a Black Bond, right? Bond is one-dimensional as a character.
Sure.
Every single movie, you're watching to see Bond, but you're also really watching to see the villain, to see the new characters surrounding him. That's exactly
What
what
do you
this
want
is.
from Bond in a Bond movie?
You want
You know. You want him to fuck that pussy.
Yeah, yeah.
You want him to crack cheeks.
Yeah.
This guy was the king of Wakanda. Couldn't even get a spy bitch to give him some pussy. Couldn't even get a spy bitch to say. She was like, maybe I'll marry you, maybe I won't. How you gonna dog the king of Wakanda? This guy's got superpowers, and she's like, I don't know, maybe. Why'd you mess up my mission? Like, in Bond, guys want to be Bond because he's rolling up to shorties like, hey, how you doing? Shaken, not stirred. Let me crack the cheeks.
Yeah.
He's charming. Black Panther, not charming.
He's
Black Panther
charming.
might be the
He's
first
charming.
black dude in a movie that didn't have game. That might be the history.
Yeah, he was charming.
How was he
He
charming?
was like
couldn't even-
subtly charming. He wasn't like overwhelming. He wasn't.
He was charming in the moments with his sister. Like you could tell there was like it felt like a real bond and love there with his family and her, but that was it.
That was it.
I agree with you in the sense that he was boring.
Yeah.
And my question is, and this is like I don't know enough about the original comic.
Was he also?
Was he boring in the comic? Because you have these iconic figures like Tony Stark, Bruce Wayne. There's a reason those movies are so well known and that they got made when they got made, which was first, right? I mean, taking out any type of like racial context.
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
this, obviously.
Did your white privilege dare
Right,
just
right,
go
yeah,
off
just-
as you
yeah,
said it?
Yeah,
Alex
but-
is in the
yeah,
back.
I felt it. But what I'm saying is like those characters in general
Yeah.
are more well known and are extremely interesting as individuals without the context of the story, right? Like you already love those guys. Is it possible that like he is not just that interesting of a character?
So maybe make
So
him
they
more
made
interesting.
the star of the movie really Wakanda. And
That's true.
and
Wakanda
also,
and the culture
women were
surrounding-
actually the bright spot. I thought even more so than the male supporting characters.
Yeah.
But those felt like he highlighted those features of it, which I think was smart.
Yeah, I mean, what I would have done is added those features into Black Panther because they already exist in terms of his intellect, right? Like, let him be okay. She can make all the designs, but then let him do what Batman does, right? Batman has Alfred, and then he has Morgan Freeman making all his shit. But then what does he do? He goes in without Morgan Freeman knowing and fixes up the technology to make it do something that
Right.
Morgan Freeman didn't even know it could do. And then what do? We look at Batman and go, oh shit, not only is he a spoiled guy, but he's smart as fuck.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he didn't have this intelligent, cunning moment.
Yeah.
Like there was he got set up, he got put into a trap by Claw when they went to go play poker or whatever like that.
Yeah.
He barely even got to play poker and beat the dude like Bond does. Like Bond goes, figures out
Yeah,
your
he
tell.
beats the guy first, fucks his girl,
Then fucks
and
his
then,
girl.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
And then you're like, I want to be Bond. I always lose at poker.
Now, do you think that it was the character, that's how it was written, or it was the actor, and that's just how he chose to give the performance?
That's
Now, so Coogler didn't choose Chadwick Boseman.
is that
when
true?
When they asked Coogler to do the movie, they told him Chadwick Boseman is already casted.
Really, I didn't know
Yes.
Interesting.
So
That's very
that's why,
interesting.
and Michael B. Jordan's Coogler's man. So when he called Michael B. Jordan, he's like, "You're gonna have to be."
That's
Bond."
very, very
But
interesting.
that wasn't Coogler's choice to
His
cast.
choice was probably Michael B. Jordan.
100% his choice would be Michael
and
B.
I'm
Jordan.
wondering
So, like, do you
if
think?
it would have been, he would have been more charming. I bet
Well,
he
so-
would have.
So do you think that Coogler wrote that? Like, I want this guy to be subtle, or do you think that just Chadwick Boseman was like, no, this is how I'm gonna deliver the performance?
Or do you think Chadwick Boseman's just not that interesting, or not that
Could-
like charismatic?
yeah,
as
what
a-
is it?
as an actor?
What do you think? The benefit
I don't
of
know.
the doubt,
I-
saying he chose to do that like that.
I honestly walked out. I didn't even think too much about T'Challa or Black Panther.
Right.
I thought about
Isn't
all
that
the other
crazy?
characters,
But
but now
isn't
that
that
I'm looking
crazy?
back on it now, yeah.
the movie's called Black Panther.
Like you walk out of Iron
He's
Man,
the-
you're
like-
thinking of Tony Stark. You walk out of Bond, you're thinking of Bond. You walk out of Batman, you're thinking of Bruce Wayne. I'm walking out, I'm thinking of everything else but T'Challa.
Every one of us could have been T'Challa. We drink that juice, and we have a smart sister.
Wait, I am T'Challa.
You are T'Challa.
I am T'Challa. I am T'Challa.
No, but you feel me? Like, isn't it like there's little shit that annoy me about the movie like that. Like the fact that he's supposed to be one of the smartest guys in the world. There's, I think the top 5. Charlamagne and I were talking about Brilliant Idiots, but he broke it down. It was Bruce Banner,
In the
Tony
MCU.
Stark, or in the Marvel universe, right? Bruce Banner, Tony Stark, Beast, the guy who plays Beast,
Hank
Hank
McCoy.
It was Ant-Man. Is that Ant-Man?
No, that's Beast.
Oh yeah, Hank McCoy, and then I think Ant-Man and maybe another guy, something like that.
Michael Douglas's character in Ant-Man probably Hank Pym.
Ping
Yeah,
or
Pym,
whatever, yeah.
Pym, yeah.
So, but there's a few. So he's one of them, and it's like in every one of those movies, those guys are doing some wild shit.
Yeah.
They're showing us how brilliant they are. And in this movie, he's like, well, maybe we should give some money to developing nations who are struggling.
Even though
Maybe
everybody
that is
around
a
him is
good
done.
idea. It's like dog, you've been going around with your dad who's king for 40 years. Why are you acting like you
Yeah,
didn't
but
know?
no, but that's
Maybe-
that's the development, right? Like the his role in this was that he's taking Wakanda out of obscurity and like them being.
Well, no,
a
that's
haven.
Michael B. Jordan's role in all of this because Michael B.
He
Jordan
was,
is the one that
he was
influences
fighting the whole
that,
movie to
Yes,
keep
I
it.
get that part. I get that part.
which
Like,
is
he didn't
He's
even
got to make the decision.
consider
though.
it.
But no one else in this past had consider it. If you're being groomed for leadership and you'd always done things a certain way, like think about if this was real life and he was a real prince. Like what would be interesting about him? He would have assumedly had this easy life. He was born into power. His dad was king. They were very conservative. They stayed in their own. They kept with tradition. So like why would he be interesting? Because then his father passes away, and now he takes the mantle, and he's got to like figure out what's going to define him, right?
But he
And
didn't
that's
have any
what-
of these ideas himself. These ideas are coming from other people. Tony Stark is that guy. Like, I think Black Panther, he's kind of like Captain America. Just fucking boring,
Yeah,
dude.
he's
It's
like
like,
Captain America. That's a good comparison.
and I just like,
But maybe like
and Captain America sucks until you start throwing the other cool characters
Right.
around, and which is what they did in this movie.
Right.
And to Cougar's credit, he made every character that wasn't Panther
That's why that's so
fucking
interesting.
incredible.
Yeah, incredible.
What Haney said, because Coogler's DNA is all over everything else in this movie. The fact that apparently the studio said we already picked this guy, that's huge. I think that speaks a lot to.
so. All right, on Flagrant.
Question, real quick for Jack. How much power does a Chadwick Boseman have in the direction of the character in a movie like this? In this size,
Boseman is interesting because he's not a huge.
She's not Will
huge
Smith.
She's not a
star. If it was already established with a huge name attached, it would be a little different. But I think Boseman. It sounds like the studio was grooming him for this, like early on. I have to read more into what you're talking about, but I don't think he had enough pull. I think
right, like maybe certain.
I think
guys
it's actually a
would be
way
able-
for Marvel to be like, we picked this guy, so maybe we can have some influence, through. I don't know.
The reason why, because he
Ooh.
was put in wasn't he in like one of the other Marvel movies, like Infinity War or something like that?
He was
Yeah,
in Civil War.
they
so-
introduced
yeah,
him.
yeah.
That's why, like, that was before Coogler. That was before all this was
Right, right.
happening. So they
Ah.
picked him a while ago.
Right. Well, so was that the Russo brothers that picked him though for that? The directors of
Probably,
Civil War.
right?
But it was already it was already like,
Right,
he's
right.
the Black Panther.
But when you pick someone, I imagine for the Marvel universe, you have to get approval from the big
Yeah,
guys.
to
'cause
get
they're
there's a
like,
whole council that you have to,
we might want to do a movie with him. Let's make sure we want to
Yeah.
be invested.
I mean, they're thinking ahead. They planted the seed for Black Panther all the way back to Iron Man 2, which I was looking up online. In the background of the last scene in Iron Man 2 when Sam Jackson pulls him in and starts showing him the Avengers Initiative. In the background, you can see a map, and in the middle of Africa at Wakanda, you see like activity. So they were planting the seed for Black Panther for 7 years or something like that. They
they're the
definitely
best.
they obviously didn't have him picked out, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me.
So like on Flagrant 2, you guys always joke about Nigerian parents, right?
yes.
Like this is Nigerian, not Nigerian, but this is African royalty. Like they're taught, like he's probably raised to be
He's in that bubble.
calm, subtle,
Yeah.
not flashy, not over the top. That's just probably so. I feel like maybe that's true to that type, like in how it would actually be in real life.
Dude, and if you, especially in today's climate, like, wouldn't you want your leader to just be like kind of boring right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, the most boring guy ever? Absolutely. Not divisive, like just. I mean, I think it's a good quality for the fact that he's also like the head of a nation.
All right, let's.
Maybe. I hear what you're saying. Maybe if it was the real world, yeah.
Right.
But if it's
It's a movie.
a
I get it.
movie, I want my leader popping off. Like Killmonger, I
Well,
kind
maybe
of
we
liked
should
it.
Transition into Killmonger.
Everyone-
Yeah.
Like,
So,
I'm
yeah,
not gonna
so-
lie. When he
so
when he
let's-
threw my man off the fucking whatever, what is it called? When he threw him off the waterfall,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Like, there's this primal part of me that was like, I guess I follow you now. You know what I mean?
100%.
You're the strong guy, right? Okay, okay. Let's do it. You know.
Yo, it was wild, that whole scene, because it never really like came to the resolution, but like through their ancient laws, like he's still like technically like the leader.
Son, the way that and this is an issue
Ooh,
I have.
Killmonger.
Yeah.
He's supposed to do it without the suits and the powers and all
Yo,
that stuff.
and this is some real shit. And one issue I have with the film itself, and this is probably a Cougar choice, is he shouldn't have killed him. He shouldn't have been able to do that to him. What should have happened is he should have been about to kill him. Somebody else stops it, and then throws him off. So like
Yeah.
Forrest Whitaker should have stopped it and then
Well,
pushed.
Forrest Whitaker was dead.
I know he's dead,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like what should have happened is Forrest Whitaker should have
you mean
stopped
in
the
initial
kill
fight to
Yes.
get? Oh, okay.
and pushed him off the waterfall himself, right?
He came back on like the weakest technicalities.
Son.
Hold on.
Yo,
Hold on.
son,
That
he's
was
like-
I want
like,
to.
son, you were dead to rights.
I want to talk about this.
I don't
Yeah,
want
you
to hear
could've cut your
toe-
head off.
I don't
Yeah.
want to hear your toe was on the back of the end zone. Like, you were dead.
Yo, I want to talk about this because, like,
What is it called? The catch? What is the catch rule?
Well,
the catch rule.
that is the
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
What is the
Catch
catch
rule,
rule?
yeah,
Is it
yeah,
something-
tuck rule, yeah.
So it's this,
The
right?
tuck
Which
rule,
is
yeah.
like, so you think that Killmonger is really the king still? But Homeboy
I mean,
didn't
he's
technically
dead
die
now.
and he didn't tap out.
Yeah, but he wasn't
Yo,
supposed
but
to
he
get,
still
he
has
wasn't
the-
supposed to get assistance from the other tribe.
I agree.
They
Once
came and grabbed him
I
and threw
agree.
him on ice.
So is it over once
Yo.
they gave him the heart-shaped herb or whatever the
Huh?
hell? When he took the thing to become Black Panther,
Yeah.
is that when it's over?
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
He didn't die.
That's
He still
when it's
got it in
over.
him, by the way.
But like,
He
so
went
like
to
that
the other
fight,
side. He had a conversation with his dad.
I don't know, man.
Like, you're
a lot
the
of
king now.
technicalities here. A lot of technicalities.
Not even
don't know.
technicalities. You're right. Someone assisted him in not dying.
Yeah.
Had he not been assisted and put on ice, he's
Yeah.
dead.
Literally.
Just
Right?
saying.
Yeah.
I think you made a great point. I just think that scene was done so poorly because it didn't leave any illusion. And that's another reason why I stopped respecting Black Panther as like the strong guy. You lost on the hand-to-hand combat. B.
Yo,
Your
he
hands
got-
are whack.
Yo, he got no hands.
Yo, his hands are
He
trash.
got no hands.
You stay getting stabbed.
Yo, he
got
went to-
stabbed by
Yo,
Jabari
and he-
in the
and
shoulder.
He won the first battle.
They
He
were-
won the first battle going to an armbar.
Yeah, exactly.
He couldn't knock you
He
guys
couldn't even
out.
stand up with him. Like, you had to... Nah, bro, nah.
Can't be Black Panther with no paws.
Real talk.
Michael B.
man.
Jordan.
Yo.
They went extra with it because Michael B. Jordan was talking mad shit during that scene. Like, you know,
yeah.
he
That's
was just
Creed.
like, "This is your king."
Yeah.
That's Adonis Creed.
Yeah.
That's Adonis
He was
Creed.
like, they went extra. Like Michael B. Jordan fucking bodied him.
And Michael B. Jordan's body up against Chad's body?
Not close.
Come on, bro. Cut the bread out.
Yo, how?
You know what I mean? Like, let's be real about this. Like, you're about to be if I'm going to be a superhero, right? Shit, I would lose weight for spring break. Remember spring break? You
Yo,
get your
hell
abs
yeah.
popping for spring break? How you going to be part of $1 billion superhero
Yo,
franchise
he-
and you just got the top two like a 36-year-old?
Can't do it. He had a heads up. He saw Michael B. Jordan and Creed. You knew what he
You
was
knew
coming
what you were
with.
going up against. They had to put those little brails all over Michael B. Jordan's body just as a strap.
I mean, you got to question his commitment to the role. when
Let's
you really
stop.
think-
Let's
when you
stop
break it down
crushing
like
Bozeman.
that.
I'm
and let's
being-
talk about the good stuff.
Let's talk about
Let's
Killmonger.
talk about the good stuff.
We
Let's
did-
talk about
We did-
Killmonger.
Hold on, let's talk about Killmonger. There's one thing that bothered me about Killmonger.
Okay,
I
go.
wanna see it. All
Well,
right.
first of all, you got to say his name right.
What is it? You know I'm not gonna say it
Killmonger.
right. Come on, it's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
all
yeah.
be one syllable.
Guy says
I mean,
30% of his
I mean,
words
this
right.
is-
Yeah,
He's done 8 episodes now, whatever it is. I mean, it's all.
Kilimanjaro.
It's gonna be one.
Kilimanjaro.
Guy plays it Italian once. Is that all he answers?
That's all I do is play Italian.
It's unbelievable.
Pretty much that's it. The only roles left for us.
So first of all, spoiler alert, when he dies at the end, right? So when that happens, I was legit sad, right?
Yeah.
So
Yo,
that- I mean-
also the line, what he says right when he dies.
well, yeah, that
Fire.
that's-
Fire. Fire.
Amazing
Remind me.
that they worked that into a Marvel movie. That's
Fire.
insane. And that's
Remind
why-
me.
He basically says, "Kill me,
Oh,
don't."
the slave ship thing.
Yeah.
that was the best.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was
that
dope,
great.
but then low key kind of and whatever. We'll
No,
get
well,
into
it was
it.
a little bit weird. It was a little bit weird because when he was down and he picked him up, I was like, oh, he's gonna pick him up. He's gonna take him to go get the special medicine, right?
No, he took him to
And
the
he was like, oh, no, he
sunset.
took him to the sunset. I was like, if I'm bleeding out, don't take me to the sunset. Take me to the ER. Like, I mean, come on. But anyway, listen. My whole thing was him. He was great in the beginning. I thought like the way they introduced him was fantastic. And he was phenomenal. He was one of the best parts of the movie throughout the whole thing. But like his story arc, like switched like that. Like he went from, and I had to read up on this because when I left the movie, I had like a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth because I love the character and I love Michael B. Jordan, but there was something a little bit off. And I read something in the Atlantic and it linked me to someone else, and he put it perfectly. And like he went from like radical revolutionary
He was
to
Malcolm.
like.
Yeah. Malcolm
but
versus
then
It's
to
MLK.
Malcolm or Martin,
But
right?
then
Yeah.
to like power hungry king almost immediately because he had them burn all the other purple.
Right.
But
planets.
imagine if a radical revolutionary had that much power.
Imagine if Malcolm
Yeah.
got
no,
there.
but there's
So
there's
just
different.
just to throw it out there, Castro. And I think every radical revolutionary dictator, I think what
Sure.
happens
it
is
just happened fast. It felt quick.
yeah, exactly. I mean, look, the movie's 2 hours.
Hey,
and
he's been
15
planning
minutes.
for years. He
I'm
already
sure.
he already knew exactly what
But
he
he
was
knew
doing.
exactly what he was going to do, and they said, yeah, they trained us to do this, which is what they had done, right? He destabilized governments
Yeah.
and done all this kind of stuff. And But I understand what you're doing. It did maybe seem hyper speed that he became this bad. Like,
Yeah.
the second he became in power, he was like, light all this other flower shit up
Yeah.
on fire so
Which is
nobody
what you
else
would
can
do,
be in power.
like-
Which is what somebody who wanted radical control would do.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying.
what I'm saying?
It seems speed. Let's say there was 2 parts of this movie, we would have seen a gradual.
Right.
We would have maybe seen a little bit more
He's
gradual.
also like this guy who he was MIT, CIA. Like, he was like well trained, well thought out. Like, it just seemed like that part
So
was a
that's
little rushed.
interesting. You've read all the stories of these radical revolutionaries that became dictators.
Yeah.
And now you're just following in their footsteps.
Right, exactly.
Right,
Which
right.
is
Which may
like,
be
you
inevitable.
should-
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah.
fought in all these small wars across the world. Like, they alluded to that in the movie.
Right,
like,
right.
You know how to. You
That's
should
fair.
know how to do this, right? And the other, the best comparison is like they were kind of like Professor X and Magneto, right? Like, he was kind of like Magneto in a certain way. In that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like that
Because
was
they both, well, I don't know if they both want the same thing in Professor X and Magneto, but in this they truly, I think it's Martin and Malcolm, but
I thought it was one of
It's
them.
Of
Martin
course it's
Malcolm,
Martin, but
Yeah.
just keeping in the,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Marvel
Sure, Marvel
universe,
one of us, yeah.
right? Like, and Magneto's more of like a calculated guy, and it's very for like his cause.
But also like wants one race.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true. With, like, extremism, it's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
radical extremism,
Yeah.
right? And then the other part about Killmonger, what was I gonna? I was just thinking about it. I lost it. I don't know.
can I talk on the comparison to what
Yes.
the two of them are? The interesting thing about the Martin Malcolm comparison, I don't say that just because they're both black and the movie's black, but I say just idealistically, they both wanted similar things,
Sure.
right? Like they wanted the betterment of black people.
Right.
And it ended up happening towards the end of the movie that Black Panther and Killmonger both wanted to help out oppressed people, especially oppressed black people
Yes.
around the world, right?
Right.
And even during that last fight scene, at any point in time, they could have, and I think he even did try to say it, like we can help in a different way, or maybe,
Yeah.
but like, literally a conversation that we could have avoided this whole thing. We could have been like, hey, how about instead of giving them weapons, we use our vast resources to help these
course,
people and
right.
uplift them economically. And you're talking to an MIT grad.
Right.
So it's not like he doesn't, like we don't need it. We don't need the
Yeah.
movie.
Right.
Like I would almost rather him not be MIT. I'd rather him be like dropped out of school at 14, like some Logan shit. Like we just found this guy fighting in bars, and all of a sudden the military was able to contain and use this power to be successful in war, but he still was a lit fuse or whatever.
Right.
They
So
probably tried to stay from the stereotype that like this guy's a kid from Oakland and just a gangbanger.
Yo,
Right,
it felt
right.
too
Wanted to
much,
stay
but
away
he
from-
felt too much like Oakland and not enough CIA MIT at times.
Mm.
By the way,
you can't take
I
the
love,
Oakland out of
like-
the MIT.
Of course, no, it's still there. You can blend it. You can blend it together. I get that, right?
Right.
Like the Go. I'm sorry.
I love that. He talked like he's from Oakland. By the way, you say
That's great. I'm
You said
fine with
Killmonger's supposed to be from Harlem.
Yes.
Kugler's from Oakland. That's why.
I know,
That's
I
why they
know,
wrote
I
it.
know, yeah.
Right. So
You just jacked the superhero.
He was ready for that one. He
Yeah.
was- yeah,
no,
very
no,
good.
but like the because everyone talked like an accent in the movie.
Right.
I mean, he comes in and it broke it up, and for me, it made a big difference in like enjoying the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of coming in. It kind of brings the world. It kind of brings this fake world back to a real place that you're familiar with.
Yeah.
And with the most of the Marvel movies, it's not. It's all
Right.
fiction.
It's
So
all- right.
fictitious.
But this
it's
brought
weird,
it back
yeah.
to a real thing that you are familiar with and you know very well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The one thing that I did read was that the different in the comic was that he was from Wakanda, then exiled to Harlem, when his dad, like they got like exiled.
Oh.
And in this, he was born in
And
Oakland,
then
and his dad.
he was born in Oakland and like lived there his whole life. He was already somewhat familiar with Wakanda, and then when he came back to Wakanda, it was like a slower build.
Oh. I kind of like this story.
Oh, this was
Yeah.
better
Yeah.
for the movie, 100%.
And
Yeah,
they
I
got
like it.
Sterling K. Brown in there, so
It was
that worked.
unfortunate.
And he was
that-
great.
Yeah.
Another guy we didn't talk about. He was great.
Yeah, he was good.
Who
yeah.
his father?
Yeah, the
guy
dad,
who plays
yeah.
father. Phenomenal. Yeah,
What I loved about Killmonger though is ultimately, and this kind of reflects like, I kind of felt like he was the Joker of the first real like Joker-ish villain. We were talking, I think it was after Justice League, about like the lack of like
Of
a
great
really
villains.
good
Yeah.
Ultimately, not only is he like you can kind of sympathize with him, or at least you can understand where he's coming from.
Fucking root for him.
You root for him, but he's also like such a brutal fucking dude that like you kind of hold back on fully embracing.
So
rooting for
going
him.
to the Martin and Malcolm thing, I was hoping like he would survive. They would team up, lead Wakanda together, it would
Right.
lead to the next. He would be in the future movies. and then there'd be
It's
you
the
know,
Captain America. What's his? And then Winter Soldier
right.
Yeah.
arc,
I
right?
knew
Where
when
what is the Winter Soldier's name?
Bucky Barnes.
Whatever his, yeah, but it's that arc where he starts out as a bad guy they're fighting, and then he goes, "Hey, check it out, you could be good," and
Right.
then
Yeah.
we forget he killed thousands of people. Yeah,
when he he
Forgiven.
cut that soldier's
Everyone's
neck, that
redeemable.
girl.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like a hacker.
That's
Oh,
when
you
you're
just
like,
hacked
oh, shit.
somebody
That's when I
else.
knew he was gonna die.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
When
yeah.
he slit her throat, because audible gasp in the movie theater. Everyone's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. Everybody's like,
that
what?
shit was crazy,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So, good.
No, I was just saying that's what I loved about the character though, is that he was
He was
in the
ruthless
beginning
in
he was
his-
so mission focused. One of my biggest pet peeves of movies, and this is with like Claw, when he grabbed his girlfriend and had the gun to her head. I hate in the movies when like someone takes a hostage and they're like, no, I'm gonna put my gun down. Terrible mistake. There's no way anything good could come from that. And like Michael B. Jordan just boom, just like popped one off.
Shot the girl.
Like just popped one off, caught the girl, and she went down, and then he kept it moving.
Yeah, he was focused.
Love that. Yo. Just so he made the right decision.
So
I'm telling you right now, I consider all you guys friends. If we're ever in a situation where you're being held hostage and I have a gun, I'm taking the shot.
taking a shot at me.
I'm taking a shot at the other guy.
Behind you.
But that's a
Yo,
tough shot.
no, but he didn't shoot at the other guy.
No,
He shot
at the girl.
He shot at her to
specifically.
show him like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't give
He
a
doesn't
Oh,
give
I
a
thought
fuck.
he shot maybe just.
Oh,
maybe
nah,
just
he didn't
pulled.
miss. No.
No, this
Oh, I
is-
thought he just pulled.
Nah,
is-
he,
he
his aim was on
pulled
point.
it. A little to the left. I'm sorry, Ben.
That's a tough
Sorry,
shot. I'm
shanked
telling
it.
Yo,
You're
he
dead.
knew who he was
If you,
shooting.
if someone had you like this and I had your two heads, on a good day,
You're taking the shot.
I'm taking the shot, and on a good day, I'm 50%. Right? And I'm someone who's been trained with a pistol. But I'm definitely taking the shot.
Why not shoot me in the leg like they did in what is that movie with
Yeah,
Keanu
right,
Reeves, where he's driving around Speed
yeah.
2, or maybe it was either Speed or Speed 2, but shoot the hostage in the leg. Therefore,
Make him go down.
because now he's not going to carry me around with my shitty leg.
Because I just burned 2 bullets.
Oh, he's
Right?
already
I
thinking
got
bullet
boom,
count.
boom. Right? It's like I got a small magazine.
How many mag? What's in the mag?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know the situation, right?
Yeah. Now that we don't got AR-15s anymore.
So you said that you were rooting for Killmonger.
So this is what I thought was so brilliant about Michael B. Jordan and Coogler and what they did with that character. This guy would slit fucking throats. He'd shoot his girlfriend in the forehead. He'd do all this horrific shit. And there was still, it's like, I barely was okay with him dying. Right? Like
I
usually
was sad.
Yeah, you're sad, but like usually I think what they do is they make a character that they're about to kill do something morally reprehensible to get the audience primed for his death. We're
That's
like,
when he
which is
slit
what
the
he's
girl's
saying,
throat.
yeah.
That's what now they have to kill
and
him.
you're absolutely right. And they'll
But
do
you
that
still
in
didn't
TV
want him to
shows.
die.
But you still like that's how fucking good this guy
still don't
was.
want him to
Right,
die.
You still don't want him to die. He's so good he could slit a girl's throat, and you're like, they were fighting. It was wartime.
I would also argue that Killmonger, definitely in the MCU and maybe in general in terms of villains, was the most effective in terms of achieving what he wanted to do. Because ultimately, what happens? They bring Wakanda out into the world.
100%.
And his last lines are definitely lasting in T'Challa and Black Panther's mind. Like it definitely affects the rest of the course of his life and his approach in terms of being the prince of or the king of Wakanda.
He kind of gets what he wants.
He gets what he
kinda-
wants. Ultimately. I
isn't-
mean, it's not as radical,
right.
but what happens? They open up in the projects that he grew up in. They open up a giant center, at
And
the end.
they go to speak at the UN, and he
Yeah.
goes, "The world is going to know who we are."
Yeah, yeah.
And then the world ends up knowing who they are.
Yeah.
So, in a weird way, he's kind of the hero. Now Black Panther ain't even a hero in his own fucking movie.
Right.
Like Killmonger is the hero.
Yeah.
I mean, all these things.
He's the catalyst for change.
He's the catalyst for change.
But he was effective in getting that change in a different way than he wanted to. But
I think his
He was
idea.
Harvey Dent.
I think his idea was much more radical than you guys are giving him credit.
It
for.
is, and
One of the things why I think everyone liked him was that you could empathize with him because when you think about what his father was trying to do, was not overthrow the government or do this big thing. He was trying to sneak the vibranium out and just arm some people, right? Kind of a noble
his hood,
cause,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
He saw something and was like, I need to change this, and I'm going to do it without hurting anyone.
Yeah.
And he died because of it.
his brother killed him.
Right? His brother killed him because of it and then left his nephew there to grow up fatherless. So, like, you could totally understand why he was the way he was.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately his cause was just not just to, like,
Can we admit Wakandans before Michael B. Jordan were dicks?
dicks.
Like this is
Like you're
not.
talking about because they're selfish
Yeah,
and
you-
only looking out for themselves.
You're
That's
only
what you're trying to say.
you're only looking out for like you're elitist. You don't it's literally like Trump's or like the alt-right paradise, right? You have no trade with nobody else. What is the guy's
Keeping
name?
all
Who's
of-
never around anymore? But he Breitbart's guy. What was his name?
Oh,
Bannon?
Bannon.
Bannon. This is
Bannon.
like Wakanda is Bannon's
Isolationist.
love child.
Yeah.
Like this is what he would want more than I don't want any trade with anybody. I want everything made here.
Everything's
Let's
for
keep
us.
the
We
wealth
get
in the
to keep it.
country.
Yeah, exactly.
Build a wall or a smoke
like-
screen so nobody can come in.
But like they're just trying to protect themselves because they know other people, more powerful countries, will come in and crush them and take what they have. And use
There
it
is
for
no
bad.
country that's more powerful. They
Fair.
lead. They're.
True.
I mean,
No, but it brings attention in terms of if you're talking about the Marvel universe, in terms of other people coming in and challenging them for what they have. It opens them up to
it opens it up to the Marvel universe, maybe.
right.
Absolutely.
But in terms of like a global scale, I don't think they're rivaled in terms.
yeah,
of
I don't
what-
think the Congo is going to be charging.
No, but
No,
if,
they're the most
no, but
technologically
America would go
advanced-
after that
yeah.
technology.
Yeah. Well, that's
Say
to
what?
try.
America would go after that technology. Like in the real world, like America
But they
would go.
Like
know-
if Trump knew that Wakanda was there.
Yeah,
that he would go after. We want that. But
Yeah.
if you are technologically, it's like Israel in the Middle East. It's like, of course, all these other countries want Israel, but Israel got the technological advancements that these other countries don't, so they can't do shit.
Right.
It's really how Wakanda's kind of Israel in a little bit of a way, right? It's a
Yeah.
tiny little place. Nobody's allowed in.
Right.
Technologically, it's the tech superpower maybe in the world
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, Israel is
by far.
really?
Pixelot, our app for basketball
I
league.
know
The one that never works.
Tel
Waze?
Aviv. Tel Aviv.
Ways.
ways. Oh, I'm not saying they don't have.
But not
smart
even that,
people. I
like
just didn't think they had
military-
the most
Oh
technologically
yeah, dude, the
advanced
Iron
country.
Dome, military, all that shit.
I
All
didn't
the
know
great
that.
tech is apparently, and maybe you know a little more about this, but apparently, like we send our what's it called, our planes, our fighter jets or whatever like that. We make them here, send them over there, and they give them a software update that makes them
soup
do
'em up?
all. They soup them up.
Really?
I don't know about that. I mean,
We got to ask Tanner.
Lockheed Martin's been making the F-35s for like 15 years. Like it's not. We're not great at it. I'll just.
We
say
might have to
that.
phone a friend on that one.
we might have to talk to Israel.
Yeah. I mean,
But yeah, Killmonger was great. In terms of the other characters, I was actually worried because I thought it was going a little too slow in terms of developing Killmonger. Like the first hour,
He's barely in it.
He's barely in it, and I was like, where? And then he comes in full force when he gets to Wakanda. But I thought they were going to focus too much on Claw. They kind of used Claw as like the perfect centerpiece for that big first action set piece, and then
Yeah,
he was
but
out.
why'd they get rid of him so easy? I thought he was great.
I didn't.
I thought it was cool
What
because
didn't
it
you
was
like?
almost like I thought it was
Marco
almost
wanted
cooler
Gerard
being
Butler.
like
I did.
I thought it was cooler being like, hey, here's what you think the villain's going to be, and this is kind of the one-dimensional
Yeah.
villain that you're used to having. We're going to kill him off,
So
and we're going to show you who the real like villain is.
Okay, that's,
you
that's
know-
all right. That's cool.
Yeah, because
Did
he
you know
he actually
who-
resembles all of those villains to a T. Like he has a weird ability.
He's the stereotypical villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, that prosthetic was awful.
Well,
Yeah,
it's a
but
prosthetic.
That was the dumbest looking villain power technology.
You mean
it
when
looked dumb. It looked like a bad sex toy.
You mean when it opens
I
up?
was about to say.
It opens
I'll
up
take
and a
that hand
dildo
job.
comes out.
Yeah,
Like
I'll
that's
take
it.
that
And
take
shit.
the claw?
At what
Go
point
for
it
it,
gets
claw.
chopped? At
Whack
what point
away.
it gets chopped off and it's on the floor and it just looks fake and terrible.
Yeah,
It was not great. They kind of just like I don't know. That one irked the shit out of me.
when did you know that Michael B. Jordan was Killmonger and like the guy's son?
Can I just say one thing?
Oh, the guy's son.
When did you know
Real,
that?
real quick about that weapon. You know how they're like, he's like, they ask him, where'd you get that weapon? And he goes, he made it. His people made it in Wakanda, right? And it's like, so they're making white guy arms in Wakanda? Who's this white Wakandan that's missing a forearm that they need to put a jetpack and gun inside of? I don't know if I buy it, buddy. I don't know. What were you saying though?
When did you know that Michael B. Jordan? When did you know his backstory? At what point did it click for you?
It didn't click until they
So
showed
you
it
knew he
on-
was going to be part
until they revealed it.
Wakandan?
That he was like the little kid hanging out the window.
Ooh,
That he was Sterling K. Brown's son. When did you know that?
not until not
No,
until
you
they
know
showed
why?
it.
Because there's so much going on.
T'Chaka.
Like that actually threw me off the intro because I was like, what are we doing here for so long? And then you get introduced to so much in between then and when it's revealed that I wasn't even thinking about it.
I didn't even notice the lazy-eyed kid was Forrest Whitaker. Did you guys put that together?
Dude, are you serious?
yeah.
I didn't even put that together.
I didn't know that till he said that.
Oh, I didn't know until you said it either.
I didn't know till.
Oh
Forrest
yeah,
Whitaker
when they
it.
said it, I knew it. But
Yeah.
before, like,
I didn't know that.
in the initial scene, you see he has
It was
lazy
so
eye.
weird that they took someone who like, let's find someone who looks as little like Forrest Whitaker as possible,
Yeah.
and
But
make
that-
him young Forrest Whitaker.
But that lazy eye was working,
they had to
bro.
get that lazy
And
eye
we
going.
should have known.
Yeah.
We should have put that 2 and 2 together.
I didn't.
Like when Michael B. Jordan, pulled his lip down and you saw like that he was
Yeah.
Wakandan.
I didn't even know he had a lazy eye.
At that moment, that's when it all clicked. But I didn't know if you guys knew before that.
No,
like,
no.
Like from the opening scene, like, oh, that's
No. I was
Oh,
thinking.
no.
I was like, what are we doing here? Why are we here?
Oh, I knew that he was going to be Wakandan when he was taking the thing from the history museum.
I thought he was just banned.
Oh, so you knew he was Wakandan there.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know he was Wakandan there, but you didn't make the connection that he was.
I didn't know he was a kid, but
The
I knew
kid.
he was going to be part
Yeah.
Wakanda.
I knew he was Wakandan. Yeah, I knew he was Wakandan the whole time. When he says this is Wakandan, I was like, oh, he's been banned. He did something and he got banned.
That's-
from
Oh,
Wakanda.
I
Yeah.
didn't know.
But
that.
I didn't know he was the kid. That's.
I
what
think
was kinda-
there's an interesting. I think he brought up, or Kugler or whatever, they brought up an interesting point about these museums. Like, if you're a country which the artifact is from, I think you should be able to be like, yo, let's get
This
that
is
back.
mine. Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Now, I don't think you could just be a dude from that country, show a passport, and then just take a hammer from 1,000 years ago.
No, but if
from
it's
the
like
Metro-
ancient and you're like, I'm actually.
But if the country itself is like, yo, somebody stole that, one of the colonizers, whatever, stole that piece of artwork. We want it. It's important to us. You are not entitled to it. Run it back. You say no.
No, we've already had $1 billion franchise that handles this.
What is that?
Indiana Jones.
Go. What
That's,
is it?
that's what he did. You guys know
Yeah,
what's Indiana
yeah.
Jones?
No, yeah.
He goes to other countries and he steals their artifacts and takes them to museums. And they try to kill him for it. Kind of an asshole.
Indiana Jones is a douchebag. I didn't
love
realize that he
Indiana
was.
Jones. I had the whip. I had the fucking hat. I had
Yeah.
everything, man.
Who goes
But I'm
to
telling you,
whip
in
first?
hindsight,
Yeah.
kind of an asshole.
So wait a minute. He goes to huge asshole. Why
Yeah.
was he a hero? What was happening in Hollywood where they were like, "Well,
He
we
did
st-
fight the Nazis. Like, he kept them from, like, getting, like, some biblical shit that would have made them live forever. So,
Yeah,
like,
that's true. He did.
Shout out to him for that.
But
Was
it's
that
all
the
Harrison,
first
man.
one? Was
But
that the
that's
first
not
one?
what his job was initially.
But was that the first Indiana Jones?
No, that was the last one.
So he's not even riding off the Nazi equity?
The second, the last, yeah, I forget what was
Last
the first
Crusade.
one was Temple. The second one was Temple of Doom. That had no Nazis that I'm aware
First one's Last Crusade,
of.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
No,
Indiana
last
Jones.
one's Last Crusade.
Last one's Last Crusade with Sean Connery,
Yes.
right? I'm all
Yes,
mixed up on
yes.
my. And the first one is
The Rocketeer?
Ark.
Ark
Ark of the Covenant.
Ark Covenant. Yeah.
Okay. So he's just going to stealing people's important shit.
Yeah.
And then we're surprised that they want to squeeze him and put snakes and do all this other stuff.
Yeah. You don't remember like the big thing at Universal Studios?
Yeah, the
when they had the
ride.
ball that
Yeah,
would
yeah.
roll out.
Yeah, of
And he would
course.
fall into. He was in like a village trying to steal their little gold Buddha.
Okay.
Like, and they tried to kill him for it.
First of all, definitely kill him. Second of all, why are we making rides about stealing poor people's important
Artifacts.
shit?
I
All
don't
they
know.
got are vegetables and this golden Buddha artifact. They have nothing in life that's that
And
important.
he's
Lucky to have-
and by the way,
lucky to
as
have
he steals the
vegetables.
Buddha thing, he's destroying the vegetables somehow. It's
Yeah.
always like something's on fire as he's leaving.
right,
and you're
the
like,
whole
well,
time
our
he-
village is ruined.
That is how charming Harrison Ford is.
It's
the
great.
80s, man.
It's
We're
fantastic.
The
rooted.
80s.
Wait,
Didn't
what do
give
you
a
mean by
fuck.
that? We just didn't care?
Yeah, they didn't care.
Yeah.
Politically correctness was not.
White people were
existent in
getting
the
away with
80s.
everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
You guys did whatever the fuck you guys wanted to
Blatant
do
shit.
back then.
Bro.
Blatant shit.
Dude, that's right. Top Gun, there was only one black dude and he was just pointing the planes
Yeah.
where they should go.
Yeah.
Just-
Well, wait a minute. There was. Keep going. I'll think of the example.
What?
But going back to this, isn't that the brilliance of this movie? That this is the exact opposite of
Two
all
white
of that?
people, right?
Right. Well,
That I
yeah,
recall,
and
besides the
really
casino
main,
scene.
the main white dude, Martin Freeman from
He was great.
the original Office and all that. He's kind of the guy who's like, "Hey, I'm a white guy. Can I help in any way?" And they're like, "No, not really. You
Right.
can just." I mean, he ends up helping, but
So-
like
Yeah.
the thing where they turn to him and they're like, "Colonist, like, excuse me, colonist." Like,
Oh, yeah.
they're like, "What? Do you have
Yeah.
anything to say?"
That was the one thing, I guess, to tie this back into the movie that I didn't. The one thing that bothered me overall more than everything else is like super nitpicky, but the climax of the movie, I didn't care about the CIA agent flying that fucking plane to shoot down the vibranium that they were trying to take.
Uh-huh.
Like, I did not give a fuck about that whatsoever.
Yeah, because he had no chance of dying.
Right. There
Right.
mistakes.
Right, you know what I mean? Like
Add the sense of urgency. It's like a Superman movie. Well, if we know the bad guy can't kill him, why the fuck am I watching?
but you were so interested in what was happening with Michael B. Jordan and what's his name? Black Panther.
Right.
and then you had this like side angle going on, and like you just really did not care about it.
Yeah.
That was the one thing I didn't totally.
Maybe
love.
we're desensitized to giving weapons to other countries. You think?
Yeah. Yeah.
And starting wars in other countries. We're like, yeah, what's wrong with that? That seems, yeah. I think the Kurds could use some vibration.
Yeah, for real.
We got some shit going on in Syria. You mind dropping some shit off over there? I mean, it wasn't. What's interesting about this? What's interesting about the story arc is usually the story arc to a super what is it called, superhero movie is I'm gonna take over the world. I'm gonna kill everybody. The whole thing is gonna happen. This was very realistic because this happens already.
Oh, of course.
Right? But imagine just doing a realistic plot to a superhero movie. Right? I'm going to go arm people, militias that are oppressed and give them a chance to fight back. This is what America and many countries, Russia, many countries in the world do every single day. And we were acting in this movie, we actually were on board with it being the worst, most catastrophic idea.
Right.
Yeah. And can you answer this? Can you remember, other than Loki, any other villain in these movies? Can you remember any of their what's really motivating them to do what they're doing?
It's always,
always
greed.
like
They
obscure,
just-
and it's always about a fucking like cube. You know, it's always about like something like
It's always about the power.
That,
cube.
Yeah.
that they're gonna
There was no
sell
cube.
on some black market.
Yeah,
that-
to whom?
Yeah,
Who's
to who?
buying this
Yeah.
cube? Yeah.
no fucking cube.
No cube.
Yeah.
We should do a sketch about the guy
That's-
who buys it.
But that's why.
Right?
but that's-
Nobody wants to talk about that guy, but there's some rich dude somewhere who never can get his cube.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the same guy.
Yeah.
There's only a few guys that got that money.
it.
It's an oligarch. It's this Russian who's this close. He's fucking this close. Every superhero. We gotta. It's like missing the final shot in Game 7 every year with this poor guy.
Yeah.
The Tesseract is, he can feel it. He can see it. He's watching it on FaceTime. Then all of a sudden, Optimus Prime is like, again? I thought we sent him to another fucking planet. Again?
But that's why.
was
That's
good.
why you love. That's why you root for Killmonger,
Yeah.
right? Because he was speaking the truth.
Yeah.
He was a little radical
You
with
can't-
it.
you
He's a little
can't-
radical, but he just like, yo, you guys are all living all sweet over here, and we're fucking struggling all over the fucking world. I'm one of you. I'm stuck in fucking the hood in Oakland.
Yeah.
And you guys are just fucking having tea time over here.
Right.
Like, yo, like you got it.
But
You
that's
got
why I'm
it.
saying even more so than Loki.
let,
'Cause
let that anger out, big dog.
Yeah, bro. We get it,
No,
dude.
no.
Talk
fuck
about
you.
it, bro. What's happening?
When he
Something,
walked in
something,
and he
something.
said, when he walked in the room and he said, "Hey, auntie."
Yeah, yeah.
That
yeah,
shit
yeah,
was
yeah,
fire.
yeah.
That was the best.
That
Best-
was great.
best
That
line
was
of the whole
great.
fucking movie.
It was the
That
first time we
best.
saw swag.
It
The
was
whole
so
movie.
much
the
swag,
best.
man.
That
It
was
was
the
like,
best.
like he just said it like with such disdain. Hey, auntie.
Like, I needed that from Bozeman.
None of
You
that.
needed a sup fam from Bozeman?
I needed not even something. You could do it
But
in
you
some
know
like
what? You know
slick
what Bozeman
African
had?
shit.
You know, but I guarantee you're gonna be seeing little kids doing like the. Like,
Oh, the boom.
No, and this. You
That's
know
gonna
this.
be a
So
thing.
we
You're gonna be
did,
seeing.
I was
did-
doing this
We did it
walking
when we
out.
got out of the car.
You're gonna. You're gonna be seeing little kids do that shit.
Oh, yeah.
and
yeah.
that's dope.
But that's
Yeah.
not even
And
on
that's dope. But
Bozeman.
that's why Black Panther
But
was
that's
important.
That's yeah, and
That's
that's
not on
the beauty of this
him though.
movie.
That's part of it already.
was
It
more
was
her.
already
It
there.
was all her.
And then
Let's
she
talk
hit him-
about
then
her.
she hit him with the
Let's
what
talk
are
about her
those?
because she was the best.
First of all, that
Really?
what are those joke? This is how great she was. That joke is so antiquated. It's so done. It's
And
the
she
old.
still
and
pulled
she
it off.
still
What are
fucking
those?
pulled it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
I had a flashback to when Drug Dealers Anonymous came out and Jay-Z did the Damn Daniel line,
Yeah,
and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, this line's gonna be so bad. And then he flipped it, and it was. I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
When she first said it, it's like that is tough to pull off.
and she pulled it off.
she
man.
did.
She's brilliant. I think she's a star. That girl.
She's
a fucking
fantastic.
superstar.
She's
Yeah.
great, and she's like I described her as awkwardly cute.
She is.
Like she's like cute.
Yeah.
But she's not like hot, and she's kind of like she can play the nerd. But if you want to like get her all sexy and stuff, like she'd be like she's still very attractive.
Yeah.
I was a
She
little
could
nervous
be a
because I
star.
thought she was like 17, but she's like 24. So
Oh,
it's
good.
fine. Yeah.
That's good. What's the age of consent in Wakanda?
Is that the name of this episode?
No, apparently it's younger than that. Charlemagne brought up a reference from a comic book we were talking about Brilliant Dates today. He was like, yeah, there's a moment in comic books where one of his wives, apparently he might have multiple wives,
Sick.
one of his wives was 16.
You would have liked that. You would have liked him more. If
Whoa,
he, if
whoa,
he had
Yeah, you
whoa,
wanna
let's
find out
not
about the
that, bro.
multiple
You
wives.
just drop that on him like that.
What?
Just be like, you would have like, as soon as he's talking about a 16-year-old girl, you
No,
would've
he
been
meant
like,
multiple
no, he
wives.
meant-
No, I
Oh,
meant like
okay.
yeah,
He was
like
talking
he
about-
would have
Well,
liked
let's
he would have
clarify
liked
that.
the character more if he had like multiple wives and he was living that life. Like,
Just give me
swagged out.
something
Yo,
to
'Cause he's
aspire
so
to,
mad
dog.
that he was such a boring character.
in the book,
Cornball.
you know his girl, the spy, Lupita?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, what a beautiful human.
gorgeous.
Holy shit.
Amazing.
Absolutely breathtaking. But in the book,
Like
that
almost
girl,
hard to, yeah.
is super jealous of anyone he's with and actually plots to kill one of his girlfriends at some point.
This is great.
This is
Where is
great, right?
this?
I like that.
I love this.
That's gonna come back though. She'll get her.
Maybe
she'll
this
get her
is
vote.
like from the. So they're making sequels. I'm assuming you don't.
Oh fuck!
well,
You
you
kidding
know,
me?
this
This is
is-
so.
Maybe this will be a future.
Nah, I'm just gonna call
So
it
this
here.
is huge in terms of the Marvel landscape.
Like,
Drop the mic. Walk out.
Barry Sanders. that
Ready,
shit, dog.
Ready Player One, 2. That's greenlit. That's greenlit.
They just announced-
Black Panther. We're gonna table that.
They just announced Jurassic World 3's release date. Jurassic World 2 hasn't come out yet. But that's,
They did?
Yeah, they did. They announced it today. I was like, what the 2021? Yeah,
The
sweet, I'll
preview
mark
was
that on
the
calendar.
Jurassic World 2 preview was in
Every
the thing.
fucking movie.
That movie's the same.
Every movie
Yeah.
that we've seen
Wait,
for
that's a whole
Westerbros,
nother-
it's the same fucking previews. Jurassic Part
Ready
2,
Player One.
Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Yo, you brought up a great point about Ready Player One.
What?
Every movie we've
Every
seen.
time I've seen it, it's a different trailer. This movie's been presented to me 3 different ways.
Three
different
I have
ways.
no idea what this movie is.
The
Yeah.
last one was Star Trek meets Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I had no idea what was going on. The
Every
first one was
trailer
like
is cut
super
different.
dark.
So why do you think that is?
Because it's not obviously
'Cause it
not
stinks.
being received
Because
well.
it's not right.
Yeah, it stinks.
Jack.
I think it's a mix of things.
Don't
One,
defend
the
it.
nature of Ready Player One is that they have so many intellectual properties in this movie. So in the first trailer, you see like Master Chief from Halo, because this is getting deep into like what Ready Player One's about. But basically, they're going into this video game world and they're playing the characters that we know from pop culture from the 80s until now.
Oh.
So like you can see the
I have no idea.
DeLorean.
I've seen 5 different trailers. I have no
That's
idea.
why. That's why. Because
I thought it's a race.
I think it's an
I
intellectual.
thought it's a motorcycle race.
I think it's an
I really thought that's what it was.
I think it's an IP thing where they can't show too many of them in a trailer because like so there's a race, right?
IP means intellectual property.
And you
Anybody
see
who has- yeah.
DeLorean and you see the Akira motorcycle. Do you guys know what Akira is? Anyway, this is going deep into like
Yeah,
nerddom,
yeah.
but like basically, if you're a fan of like any kind of pop culture, something of that is going to be in the movie. So I think they're trying to like
And they
figure out.
managed to show none of it.
They show
'Cause
like
I had
if
no
you,
idea.
but that's why if you slow down the trailer, you can actually find like Optimus Prime or the Iron Giant.
Hold on,
from Iron-
Optimus Prime is in the movie?
Yeah, or like Iron Giant, or there's so many
What
different.
about Andre the Giant? You seen the
Nah.
movie?
And this movie looks like it cost a fortune.
Oh fuck yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Spielberg, right?
Spielberg, yeah.
Oh, it's Spielberg?
Yeah, dog.
Oh,
They should lead
He's
with
in
that.
now.
They gotta lead. Like that. Where was that? I am in. Actually, this actually
He
sounds.
loves
it
Spielberg.
sounds-
He loves George Lucas.
Shit. Yo, he ain't
Jack-
shit, dog.
They should just have
He
Jack on the
ain't
screen
shit,
for the
bro.
trailer. Just
Real
telling
talk.
him, oh, all right.
Marco ain't shit. This stupid movie. I don't know what's going on here.
Guarantee you.
Hold on, Spielberg's doing it?
By the way, guarantee you, we do the review of this movie. First person who's gonna be like, "This movie was fucking great." First of all,
It sounds like a deal, man.
they'll give 1 star. They'll give 1 Star Wars reference. Marco's in.
Yo, I thought the kids were playing a video game, but it was like real life and like,
That's
like
what
real
I
people
thought.
were dying. But then every version was
Yeah, I
different.
thought you had
This
to make a
last
choice
one-
of living in the real world and living in the virtual world, and they were gonna fight each other or
Yeah.
something like that.
Oh,
Well,
I
that's
didn't know
Tron.
that.
But
It kind of had a
It
Tron
kinda had-
look
the
to
first trailer I saw
well,
had
there's
a
Tron
feel.
characters in it. So anyway,
Fuck.
this is the whole thing.
Shit,
We'll
so
get.
I
we'll
gotta
get
watch
there with this.
Tron just to get this. I got no interest in that fucking movie. Oh my god, that movie was so dumb.
Real quick.
Hey, let me get lost in the stupidest game ever. What is the what is the
Snake.
Pong.
Pong?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we get
it's
lost
like
in Pong.
What
You're
would
just
happen
a
if
dot
you get,
that's going.
bro? Do you know how quickly I would jump off that little dash in Pong and try to kill myself immediately if I was lost in Pong for the rest of my life? Oh,
No, Ready Player One, real quick, is the creator of the game finds out he has a terminal illness. He announces that there's an Easter egg that has to be found by the players of the game. Everybody in the like future world that has like shitty lives and shitty homes, they can go into this virtual reality and try to get the Easter egg and change their lives. It's like the golden ticket.
so if he gets a golden ticket, he doesn't die.
No, he's gonna die, but the main character, the dude from one of the X-Men movies, the kid, he's like the hero that's gonna go and get it.
Oh,
against all
for
odds.
his friend.
I don't know what his motivation. I didn't read the book. This is just what I know from. But it was a huge book when it came out. People are
And then okay, gotcha. Oh, it's based on a book.
it's based on a book. Yeah, Ready Player One.
It always is.
Oh god.
It always is these days because they're not gonna put that much money unless it's based off
Proven,
a
right?
proven fan base. Going back to this real quick.
Yeah.
What's important about this too is that this establishes the next. So Marvel operates in phases. Basically, where they're at right
Thank
now
God we have Jack here.
is the end of Phase 3. So Iron Man, the first Thor, the first Captain America, that's Phase 1. Then you have Phase 2 with the second ones. Now we're getting towards the end of Phase 3 where it's going to climax with Avengers Infinity War in May, and then the follow-up to that. after that, apparently what's going to happen is
Infinity Wars.
there's 2 Infinity
So
Wars.
it'll be it's like a double movie.
It's like a double movie.
We're not going to be
basically.
finished with the story after the first.
Next summer they will be. And apparently after that, radical things are going to happen where characters are going to die or step down. You know, it's rumored that Robert Downey Jr. is going to finally put Tony Stark to rest as a character. And what's going to happen is you're going to see the new Avengers and the new characters start to come in. And who's going to lead that? Who's going to be? This is like the Iron Man of the next phase, basically. The one that's going to launch all of the next shit that's going to happen.
And who is leading that?
I'm assuming it's going to be Black Panther.
But isn't he one of the old characters?
He's one of the old characters, but it's not necessarily tied to the comics. It's more tied to who's the person that they can center. Like the
He's
first Iron Man
new
movie,
and
there was
he's
no
new
doubt
as
that
far as
Iron
in
Man was
pop
going to
Yo,
be
culture.
they're building
Gotcha,
the
gotcha.
2012 Heat around Mario Jama.
Yo, the basketball analogy is
You know
never.
what I mean?
Never
That's what
fail.
it sounds like.
It does.
It's not great. They're just not gonna have a lot of respect for him. I don't think.
No, it's
you know,
true. Now, but here's the thing:
But he's
He's got to be a great leader because he's got no hands.
none, none at all. The line colonizer,
Yeah.
hilarious.
Mhm.
But Wakandans are kind of dicks.
wait, what?
Like
Are you saying they're colonizers?
I don't know if you're in the right place to take a moral judgment. It's like these people go and they colonize other places, and then you just let people starve to death when you got tons of food and vibranium and all these other things.
But
Yeah, I think it was more just it was.
it's a shifting in like national policy though. That's what you witness.
No, I'm saying at that point in time they weren't shifting the policy. At the point in time she was referring, she took moral high ground on this guy when it's like, yeah, you're kind of a douchebag too. You have the ability to like stop death. You guys can literally stop death, and you're not telling anybody about that. We got motherfuckers dying,
Yeah,
and
that
you
spinal surgery
you
was wild.
You can't. Yeah, you got. There don't even need to be a Special Olympics. We could have no Special Olympics. You could eliminate Special Olympics with one bead from Wakanda.
Yeah, a lot of people lose their jobs though, right? There's all kinds of like
10 people that make prosthetics are going to
Listen,
lose
if
their
you got
jobs.
that-
So
if you got that
and
kind
the
of
one guy who made claws.
if you have
prosthetics.
that,
Exactly.
if you have that type of technology for like the hospital stuff, like listen, man, population control, like these are real issues we got to really consider.
that's some God shit. All I'm saying is, I don't know if you're in the moral high ground just yet to call colonizer. That's my personal opinion.
I thought it was worth it for the.
Yeah, it's
Great
fine. It
joke.
was
I'm
great.
overanalyzing,
Come
but
on.
it was just,
Yeah.
but great joke, very funny. I've already been called it on Twitter, so it's taking.
That's why, like white people just mad that they got
I
they
didn't
got
bother
jabbed
me.
a little bit.
I'm not mad. I was one in the audience, like the black guy next to me. I was like,
I don't know if I would have done that. But,
White people just mad they got jabbed a little bit.
you know, he had the Kendrick T-shirt on too. He was like,
oh yeah, it's all right. And
I'm
the
an
Boston
ally.
hat.
I'm a good one.
All right, so that's the perfect transition soundtrack.
yeah.
So, all right.
I don't remember a single song.
what?
No, hold on.
Whoa, wait.
See, now that's
I'm-
bullshit.
I'm in the
Hold on,
minority.
hold on, hold on.
That's
No,
bullshit.
no,
I'm
hold
in
on.
the minority.
From the movie or from like having seen the movie, you don't remember a single song, or did you actually listen to the soundtrack?
No. I haven't listened to it just from the movie. And I'd like to clarify: the only song I've ever remembered from any movie is "Requiem for a
Houston, I
Dream,"
Will Love You.
like the "Requiem for a Dream"
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, that's because it like haunted me. It did. It was
She, like,
oh
trying
my
to go to
God,
sleep.
Right, ass to ass.
Brian Adams, I Do It For You, Robin Hood, Prince of
Yeah,
Thieves. That
banger.
doesn't fucking stick with you.
Hold on, how does it go?
Everything I do.
I do it for you.
Come on. I mean, he plays it at the end.
Oh, sing that shit, Jack. Sing that
Jack
shit.
actually
We're not
got
getting, we're not getting into the Michael Jackson.
Yo,
though,
we
yeah.
gotta watch Free Willy just so he can sing.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, so I want to take us back right before we get to the soundtrack. When we talked about the Black Panther trailer last month,
Yeah.
you were like, you were kind of taking that stance, like, this doesn't look all that great. I don't know why people are getting all hyped for it.
No, the stance was I don't know what's happening, so I don't know what there is to be excited about besides the fact that it's a movie that is going to be majority black. And if that's what you're excited about, it great. But I don't know who the bad guy was. I didn't know. It's like Ready Player One. Were we excited about it? No, because we didn't have a fucking clue what was going on.
I'm
But you
ecstatic.
understand.
Now you're excited, but before you were like, this movie's trash.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So it's like, so if I'm speaking objectively about the first trailer, is
Right.
I don't know what's happening, so I can't be excited. I'm not familiar with Black Panther, the comic book, so there's nothing tangible for me to be excited about. I'm familiar with Spider-Man. I'm familiar with Iron Man, so I know little Logan. I know the storylines, so
Yeah.
I can be excited even if the trailer doesn't give me that much. That was the argument. Okay.
Right. And then I said, I'm excited only because it's Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, right? But
Great,
Coogler,
great argument.
right? And this is little shit like this. Like he goes to Kendrick Lamar's like, "Can you do a song?" They start talking about the movie.
Well, he originally
Kendrick,
asked for 3 songs, I think.
right?
Yeah.
Kendrick's like, "I'm just gonna do the whole fucking soundtrack."
Hot.
Right? All right, I'm gonna play the movie. I want you to write songs that could fit into this movie. He writes, creates a soundtrack. He puts the songs in the fucking movie, right? The soundtrack comes out a week before the movie. So now when you're watching, so I heard Charlemagne on Brilliant Idiot say he didn't listen to the soundtrack before. He didn't want to ruin it. He wanted to watch the movie. I listened to the soundtrack before, and I was happy I did because the song comes on, and you're like, yo, that shit. The first song you hear that from the soundtrack is the Kendrick and Weeknd song, right? When they walk into the casino.
It's my least favorite song.
Right?
On the album.
Oh,
That
everybody
shit-
said that song's great. It's
As
not
soon as
good?
that shit comes, that shit is dope.
Well, it's not that it's not great.
that
It's
shit
just
is
to me
dope.
that's the most generic commercial song. on
Sure.
the album.
But
But
you're
still-
inside. You're like a musician. You are inside with
There's
this kind of stuff.
bangers on the album that weren't even in the movie.
Yeah.
Sure.
But
Okay.
So like as soon as that song comes on and into the casino scene, heads just bob.
Yeah.
Right? Because you know it, right?
I was the
and
one
then
that-
even songs like what was the one with Vince Staples, right? That's
Yeah,
playing
Ops.
during the car.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
playing during the car.
And then the
chase.
ending, the ending was the one with Rihanna.
with SZA.
SZA, my
SZA,
bad.
All the stars.
I love SZA too.
When like I didn't, I've been skipping that song. I really like that song, but now I like that song. It's
Because
playing
of the
movie.
film.
Yeah, and,
So
and
they
I
add to
recognized
each
it,
other.
And I was like, oh
Okay.
yeah, now I get it. It fits in. Like the energy of that song is fitting in perfectly in the scene.
Yeah.
It's little shit like that that kind of separates to me. Like that's why I think it's probably like the best Marvel movie. It's like this, like these little details like that Coogler is gonna bring to the table and make this shit dope.
Yeah.
Was the movie set to music better than Guardians of the Galaxy?
Well, that's different. So that's taking that's a licensed soundtrack. So that's taking songs that exist from different decades and eras and kind of working them into the soundtrack.
Because
These
that
are
was
songs,
a theme of the movie.
right? And it
yeah.
was worked in brilliantly.
Right.
That's a more traditional soundtrack. This is music that's inspired and featured in.
It's all new
It's
music.
music that was written with Black Panther in mind. So when you're listening to the album, Kendrick's in the background going, "I am T'Challa, T'Challa." You know, he's like referencing, and what was awesome is like Kendrick's referencing how there's a Killmonger and T'Challa and everyone. There's a good person, there's a bad person. Anyway,
Yin and Yang. Yeah,
yin and yang.
hot.
But what I loved about it is that, and I'm sure this is what Marvel loves about it, is that having the album come out a week beforehand, not only is it great press for the,
Great.
It's amazing promotional. It's actually bleeding into like music culture. Like Black Panther was so efficient. Like when you listen to the radio, they're like, "This is from the Black Panther soundtrack. Make sure you check out Black Panther."
Oh,
like that worked
fucking
perfectly.
fantastic.
Genius. The
I'm sure
marketing
Kendrick was
campaign.
handsomely paid.
But that, absolutely. And it's also huge for Top Dog to like establish
Yeah.
themselves as like.
it's also great for Kendrick to show he could score a fucking movie.
Yes,
essentially.
Yeah.
but what I was worried about as a huge Kendrick fan, is my favorite artist, is that the first few tracks came out, all the stars with SZA and the Weeknd track, and I was like, yo, this is like not
gonna
really
be a-
Kendrick. This is gonna be like this is too commercial, and this is like, and it's weird. I was almost worried that it was gonna be like the Disney version of Kendrick, like him finally selling out. Then I listened to the album, and I was actually hesitant to listen to the album. The album's amazing. Those are like my least favorite tracks, but like X with Schoolboy Q, 2 Chainz, the song that I sent you guys, that's a banger. There's a song with Khalid or Khalid,
Khalid
not
and
DJ
Sway
Khaled.
Lee, that shit's fire.
Amazing.
Another person told me about that one.
That
Yeah,
shit-
yeah.
It's like that shit's fire.
So I think Kendrick
Yeah,
totally succeeded.
Yeah, because the soundtrack kind of touches on different sounds, right?
Different
it's not
sounds,
just a straight
different,
rap album.
different vibes that are
Different
explored in the movie. Yeah.
vibes. He did a really good job with that, and it fits the movie. Like when you now look back, you're like, oh, I could see why they chose this type of guy. Like I was wondering, there's like I don't know if he's like Jamaican or African. Like I couldn't tell by his accent, but you kind of see, oh, this is why he's on this album.
Yes, yeah.
Because at first I was like, who's trying to push this guy? I thought it was like a music agenda. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Someone's trying to promote this guy.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, it fits. It all
It
fit
fits
well.
in, and to me, it was kind of like a callback to, you saw this happen in the 90s a lot with like the Space Jam soundtrack. You had like,
Don't you dare leave out the GOAT,
what's the go?
Nutty Professor.
Nutty Professor soundtrack.
Nutty
was
Professor.
Fire.
Really?
But
Fire.
What? Name a song from the Nutty Professor soundtrack.
well, there's the single that was released.
Hold on.
Can I get her?
Can I? No, it wasn't.
Oh,
Yeah, it was. Can I?
yeah,
No,
Can I
no.
Get Her.
No, that's Rush Hour. Can I get a Rush Hour? But the Jay-Z Foxy song
Oh,
Ain't No.
Ain't no.
was on there. Hold on, Case and
Case.
Foxy, Touch
That
Me,
shit was-
Tease Me. I know you like that shit.
Touch me, tease me, kiss me, please me. Tell me just how you
stop.
like it,
Anyway.
girl.
That's 50 Cent 15 years later.
He covered that?
Touch me, tease me when Case was the shit.
No, but
Yeah, that was Cam. Yeah.
Yo, I'm gonna do you one better. I
Oh,
don't
that was
even know who
Cam, right?
Case
That was
is. Who the fuck is Case?
He was R&B singer
Oh,
on
is it
Def
he?
Jam back in the night. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yo, they had a bunch of good songs. Didn't Jan Jackson have that song?
Yeah, hold on, I gotta pull it up.
But the point is, so they used to do this a lot. Like, all right, "Kiss from a Rose," Seal song. You know what that's from originally?
Batman.
Batman.
Oh, that's right.
People like these hits would come out of these movie studios would invest in having like recording
mega hit,
artists
yeah.
make music based off like "Kiss from a Rose" is supposed to be Poison Ivy, right? Isn't it supposed to be based off of
Yes.
Yeah.
Uma Thurman's
Correct.
Poison Ivy? So like, basically, you had movie studios investing in big recording budgets to put out this kind of thing, and they don't do that anymore. And now I hope that they're going to do more of this, but it was perfect for this project because
The marketing synergy was genius.
Yeah.
Yo,
That is
Marco.
so true.
Above the Rim soundtrack.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's what
Alex
somebody
knows
else
that
said.
one. Alex knows that one.
Okay, so here's an interesting idea. If you're a smaller movie and you have a marketing budget, would it be more worth it?
it's tricky though. It's tricky because the DNA of this is different than the DNA of like a movie that you know what I mean? Like, this
No,
was all
haven't
par-
you noticed like?
I'm just
in
saying.
com-
Let's say you have a smaller movie, an indie is coming out, and you get an artist that you think would work well with that movie. Let's say it's a horror movie. Let's say whatsoever, but you get an artist similar to like the RZA with Kill Bill, but that's a bigger budget movie. But I'm saying,
Sure.
let's say you have a minimal budget, but you spend most of your marketing dollars getting an artist that you really think would work to do the score of the film, and that album blows. That album blows the fuck up. That's all your marketing. You don't need all these fucking billboards and commercials when you got these kids posting the screenshots of them listening to, Tyler the Creator's blah blah blah. Or
Right. It is important to know though that the score is different from the soundtrack. So like every movie has a dramatic score,
Right.
right,
and that's
right,
the
right,
composer.
right, right.
But
I guess I meant soundtrack, right?
Yeah.
But
So,
they
yeah.
weave this soundtrack
in and out
into
really
the
well.
score.
Yeah, and Kendrick worked with Johansson, whatever the guy's name is, who did the.
Does
He's
that
the guy who
just do
produced.
every score.
No, he hasn't done a lot of scores. He produced Redbone by Childish Gambino.
Oh, sick.
He's like a white dude. He's like a tall white dude.
Yeah, but Redbone is a cover.
Well, no, Redbone's
Red-
based off a sample.
Yeah, Redbone has a sample.
Yeah.
It's not the song. Actual song
The-
that he's singing is not a cover.
Yeah.
But the song that he's singing is the sample. That's what I was like, yo, this is one of the best songs I've ever heard. And then someone was like, oh yeah, he's
No,
just
well,
singing
that
somebody
Beat,
else's
the
song.
beat contains a sample that you've heard sampled in many other songs.
It's heavily inspired, but it's not. It's actually an original.
But I even thought the words in it.
No,
so-
the words are all him.
All right, well, shouts to
All right.
you because that was a great song.
Seriously,
Anyway,
song of the year. Yeah, I know.
Great song. Yeah.
so yeah, we were texting, and I was like, I have thoughts. That was before I heard the soundtrack. After hearing it, I really like it. I love what they tried to do with it. I think they achieved, and I think now it's just like.
You're the only reason I listen to the soundtrack because I know you're the biggest Kendrick fan, and like I'm kind of in the camp of like Kendrick might be slightly overrated in some
Oh,
degree.
well-
But so I listened to it so I could come here and shit all over it, but it was fantastic. That
There you
good.
go. Hey,
It
there you
was
go.
Dope.
Now I got
Because
There
That
you go.
shit was dope.
Also, like Kendrick's not, he's not credited on every song, but,
But
like, he's on every song.
He's like
whether
the
he's
MC.
giving an ad lib.
Like he's
or
the MC,
a
but
hook,
he's
yeah.
the of like the
Yeah.
party of the album. He like pops in and out. Like you'll hear him in
Like
every
a song
little
will
song.
be like, oh, this is like the Vince Staples song.
yeah.
It's Vince Staples and a couple other people, and he's not on it, but like Kendrick's on that fucking.
Yeah.
He's the hook.
Yeah. Anyway, loved it.
You're into it.
Yeah.
If you're African and you grew up in America,
Mhm.
and people,
You came up because
Oh.
you used to get made fun of, and now you came up. And shout out to them, man.
is there any resentment? Or you were like, yo, y'all used to clown me? Because I brought this up on the podcast, and Charlie was like, I don't think it's like that. But I had all these Africans DMing me and stuff like that. They'd be like, I'm not going to lie, this is a little annoying.
Really?
That my whole life I'm called African booty
Booty scratcher, yeah.
We're called this, and Africa's
You
this.
never heard that?
And then all of a sudden, there wasn't a big Somali community in Rhode Island,
Nah.
the
There
little
was not.
Italian enclave of
Yeah,
Rhode
there
Island.
we didn't have a lot of like
That's interesting though.
African.
But I mean, I was asking, and they were like, "Yo, I'll be honest, it is funny to see being made fun of my whole life, right? Not like serious. We're all made fun of, not whatever, but like made fun of. And then all of a sudden, I see people wearing dashikis, wearing face paint, and all this kind of stuff, going to the movies here. They're so pro-African all of a sudden. So they were like, "Yo, there is a little bit of resentment." But it brings up a different question, which is it better to I don't want to say teach history, but is like a film the most effective way
To
of
exploit culture? To
not even exploit,
Yo,
but like
Wakanda's not real, dog. Like, how's that history? I don't understand.
not
No,
history,
but
but like
the-
get people interested in it. Like now people are like, yo, I'm about my African roots. I'm 23 and
People like
me.
this
I
now,
got
yeah.
they're doing all. You know what I mean? They're yo, we got to do this. We're doing it. It's not like Star Wars. Like people dress up when they go to Star Wars, the
Yes.
movie, right?
But they're dressing up as the fictional,
They're not even dressing up
culture.
as fictional. They're like, yo, I'm dressing up as African because this movie takes place in Africa.
For this. I'm talking about
this.
for Star Wars, it's different because it's a made-up culture.
Exactly,
This is
yeah.
a culture that's actually based in.
And there's
rooted
this
in,
intrigue in your roots, and there's
Yeah.
this intrigue in these types of things. So it's one of those things like all right, teaching a course about history, or teaching a course about a certain part of the world, or teaching a course about an idea, that might be kind of effective. Make a movie about it,
Of course,
10 times better.
100%.
So why are we trying to solve like diplomacy? Like why are we trying to solve like Israel-Palestine problems with diplomats? Why don't we just make a dope
so Marvel just
superhero
needs to make
movie?
a movie
You know what
about
I mean?
the
Like real talk. Like,
Israel-Palestine conflict. and
yo,
then-
if you really want to help out, all I'm saying is clearly, if you really want to help the world, just make dope either music or movies about a region, normalize the people, make them likable and lovable, and show them getting along. And people be like, yo, maybe I gotta check out Bethlehem. Maybe I gotta check out the West Bank. It's kind of lit. I'm wrong. There's something to it or no?
It could help. It could definitely.
I mean, people are going to game. Y'all went to the Game of Thrones spots.
Yeah, I did with Iceland.
Croatia.
Didn't you also go to Croatia?
I went to
You
Croatia.
Yeah, you went to King's Landing.
Yep.
I'm-
Yeah, that shit. Like, yeah, I don't know what to say.
Do you know what I mean? Like you probably, if they taught you history of Croatia, you'd never go.
Yo, but they have like historical movie about the Middle East and stuff.
Yeah, but they're not
Yeah, they're not
superhero.
great. Like, what?
No, they're not. It's
Yeah, they're
it's
not
mostly
good,
war
like, they're
movies.
not-
It's war.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
But you give me a dope superhero.
Yo, picture this type of movie, except Killmonger's from Palestine and T'Challa's from Israel, and at the end they don't like fight; they actually like unite.
Right there, like
kinda
Yo,
like what I
because,
wanted
yo,
in
they
this
made
movie.
Wakanda,
Right? And then like
They made Wakanda beautiful. It was visually stunning. They give you like a taste of like.
son,
like,
have you
that's
gone to
that's-
Jerusalem?
That's Israel, by the way.
Yo, son, it
ain't Palestine.
Palestine is Oakland, fam.
Palestine. Yo,
Palestine is Oakland.
Palestine's Oakland. No, this is
And
shit.
it-
Yo,
Israel's
Oakland,
Wakanda.
Oakland is the OC compared to fucking Palestine. Fuck out of here, man. I've been to that desert. It ain't that pretty, and it don't smell that great. So,
but this type of movie could be made. I get what Andrew's saying. This
yes,
type of movie
I
could be made with
agree
this similar
that
story.
it could
of
try
that.
and build
Yeah.
us together.
As long as the guy from Palestine has all the swag that
get
MBJ
something,
does.
you gotta give him something.
So when I was in Israel, I went to I was talking to these guys that they just did like the biggest movie in Israel called Maktub, and it was a comedy. And
Maktub?
Maktub, yeah, and they're licensing it to do it, and Netflix is
That
gonna
means
bring
it
it
was
over
written.
here and say what?
It means it was written.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
It's an Arabic
It's
word?
an Arabic word. yeah.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. So and we were just talking, and we are like, and we're talking. One of the things about Israel is like people don't separate the politics from the people, right? Like they assume every single person there feels the exact same way.
Right.
Like in America, everybody hates America, but they love our movies, they love whatever. Like all the time, you have people cancel concerts. Like Lorde canceled her concert. She'll come to America, who's responsible for killing
Right, it's kinda
500,000
bullshit.
to
It's
a
bullshit,
million
yeah.
fucking Syrians through our policies, but they won't go. You know, whatever. It's like the politicized thing. And we're talking, and because there's an interesting show called Fauda. I don't know if you guys saw.
no.
It's
Look
an
at you, he goes
interesting.
to Israel once, and now he's got.
No, I watched the show before Israel, but it's a cool show. It's about Israel, Palestine, like some like Israeli agents and all this kind of stuff like that. But what I thought was really amazing about the show is it's Israeli produced, but I was like, yo, this is wildly fair. I thought it was going to be straight bias, but I'm watching it and like you're really sympathizing for the terrorists, right? And you're like, wait a minute, who is the terror? Of course he's going to be angry because his mom got killed. You know what I mean? Like, and you start to, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. And then we start talking. We're like, why not? And they're like, you know what we'd love to do? I'm going to give them the credit for the idea. It might have been me that thought it, but I'm going to give credit. And I was like, why don't we do a comedy that has nothing to do with politics and make it take place in fucking Jerusalem? Why don't we just show that they're these people, they can get along, it's fine. Not everything is beef, because you go around Jerusalem, it's not all beef, and just make it this place, which it's all you're thinking about is war when you think war or religion when you think about it. But it's just a beautiful city with great food and
Yeah.
where you have Arabs, Jews, and Christians all living
Yeah.
in the same area, and they're not beefing. Like they don't, right? Like
you think
Because
that's
because
it's
the
like-
people that will fund it, they want to push
their own agenda.
Their own
Fuck,
agenda.
good point.
No,
Good
it's
point.
like
Good
it's like
point.
when Rocky ended the Cold War. It's like that type of thing.
Wait. That's right.
You want to end it with comedy? Maybe. Might happen.
But we did win. Rocky did win.
I mean, if I can change, then you can change. Everybody can change.
We need a Rocky in Palestine, Israel. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, he ended the Cold War. What do you want from him? I deal in facts.
Do you really believe that he ended the Cold War or what?
I mean, listen. I'm sure it helped. Didn't hurt.
But
How
yes,
crazy
you're
is
right.
that?
To get back to your point,
Hold on, I gotta go.
The wildest thing is that when like the crowd, all these Russians really would chant for the American. That was a little far-fetched for me. But
he won them over.
he did. He won them
Can't
over.
deny hard.
You can't.
Yo, it's true, man. Russians some tough motherfuckers.
I know.
25 mil dropped in World War II, bro.
I know.
They don't
Crazy.
play. Okay.
Right.
But to wrap up your point, yeah, I think art in general can play a bigger role than we give it credit for.
Yeah, like it just makes you just get behind shit. You know, you start to understand. Like DJ Khaled is Muslim, right?
Yes.
He's never spoken about it. Like
Nah.
talk
He's
about it.
Palestinian.
He's too busy talking about
He's
being
Palestinian.
He's Palestinian.
But like, and maybe he's worried about talking about it and fucking up his money or something like that. But like, what a relatable example of Islam for all these people who have no clue what Islam is. They're like, oh, I love this DJ Khaled guy. This is the fucking
Yeah, I don't think
dude.
he wants to fuck up his money like that.
No, but I
Jordan.
think- no, but
like,
he-
what
No,
do you
you're
do with Jordan?
right.
You know, Republicans buy
But
sneakers
Khaled's
too.
just like
Yo,
a guy
you're
that grew up
right.
in
I mean,
Miami.
he's not wrong.
Like you know, he's just a guy that grew up in Miami. So like he's
Oh, he's
Palestinian.
not about the culture.
Yo, don't
as
put
well.
don't put Khaled in a
I
box.
could be wrong. I could be wrong, but
Son.
like you know,
unless
he's
it's like a Louis V. trunk.
Really? Say what?
No,
like French Montana does. French Montana's Moroccan,
Yes,
and he's
he is.
Muslim, and he's gone. I've heard him talk about like Ramadan and all that stuff before.
Yeah.
It's just a cool way to like you get this one image of Muslims in media, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're either on CNN, like having to defend every principle they've ever believed or that has existed, or they're in a movie blowing some shit up.
But that's
You
like
wanna
that's,
see him wear
but
some
that's like
fucking
a us,
Jordans.
that's a us problem.
Is it?
I'm sure that there's like
I think there's
Muslim
also
people want to do something else.
But there's personal accountability is also. It's like, yo, if that's you and that's your people and that's what you rep, talk about it. You're the perfect example. You don't have to say, I want everybody to be
Yeah, but I'm
Muslim.
sure
You
that
just be like,
exists.
yo, dog, this is me. This is how I see the religion. This is how I live my life. You know what I mean?
Right.
None of us are perfect. And just
Right.
in Christianity, I don't think you're perfect. We also don't think we're perfect over here. And
Right.
just as you can relate to me, I'm sure. I'm not saying that they have to do anything. It's your life. You could do whatever you want to provide for your family. Do whatever you can. All I'm saying is you have these examples that are like y'all are fucking Kardashians like the rest of us. Do you know what I mean? Like, has anything normalized? You know, normalize a group of people who seem to be different than smashing a Kardashian?
Right.
Yeah, you can't talk about that though. Like,
Why not? French was cracking cheeks.
yeah, but that's like there's a whole thing with like brown people, like he's like Middle Eastern. I feel like people in America.
Yeah, we do dirt, but we try to hide it.
You try to hide it because of like
Yeah.
that religious guilt and that family guilt.
Yes. That's a big thing. You try to hide the dirt. So a lot of
Yeah.
Muslims are out here scumbagging, fronting like the righteous.
Like
But
I
they try to
know
hide
with Haney, I know where the bodies are buried, but Fifi doesn't. You know what I'm saying? And she's not gonna
You
know.
know, like yeah, that is a real thing. Like you try to hide it and try to give off this persona like you are this different person. I don't really do that, but I know a lot of people like that.
Yeah, you just
Would
hid, you just hid your Hispanic girlfriend for 8 years.
Not, only to my parents, no, not to the world, not to the world.
That's true. That's true. That's not new material. That was covered on a podcast.
Say what?
That was covered on another podcast.
What the
And in a movie
how the
called The Big
relationship
Sick.
was so funny. What'd you say? The big?
The Big Sick. It was the
I
same
said how
thing.
my life was very similar to the movie The Big Sick.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Good.
You should see
Is it really
Yeah,
good?
it is
I've
very
heard
good.
mixed reviews.
We should,
No,
we
it's
should, we
very
should.
good.
So that's another one we
that
can.
should be another
Why
one
don't
we
we,
could do.
before we go, let's decide right now what we're going to tell people
All
to
right.
go watch.
Ready Player One.
Real quickly, we know
Ready Player One.
what's established, and we haven't talked about how we're going to cover it because it is episodic, and we're going back. We're definitely going to go back to weekly coverage of Sorry, I almost said Westerbros. Westworld.
Right,
when
and
that
that's
comes
back in April.
That comes back in April, but we talked about Atlanta. We definitely want to do
We're
Atlanta.
gonna do Atlanta.
That's a half hour weekly. Are we going to do?
We're not only gonna talk about Atlanta. We got to talk about Atlanta along with other stuff.
Okay, so maybe each episode we talk about Atlanta and something else.
Yeah.
So wait, we are going to do Atlanta.
Yeah.
I think
For
we should,
certain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys love it. You guys love
Loved
Atlanta.
it.
I think it's
One of my
dense.
favorite episodes of TV all of that year that came out.
The
Which one?
trans shit in a prison said.
The Charlie
No,
Rose
That
one?
shit was
that shit-
hysterical.
The Charlie
that
Rose
shit was
one?
good.
Yeah.
No. The
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the Charlie Rose one.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
The fake Charlie Rose one. Yeah.
The price on the can, though. I lost it when that happened. That scene happened.
I sat him down, made him watch the season.
Oh,
and
I
I
was
watched
in
that
tears.
episode with him.
Okay.
Spit
Everywhere.
everywhere. He was taking a sip
They
of
got the
something.
They got the 99
Yo,
cent.
no. Because
You never seen it? Well, so
Andrew
oh
never seen
my
it.
god!
I'm gonna come to you and I'm gonna sit
So
you
I
down,
want to go watch
and
this
I'm gonna
again.
watch it.
Wait. Are we
Don't
gonna
see
do a
this.
before season 2, which starts in like a week, so
Yo,
it's not gonna be
starts
possible?
next Thursday.
Are we gonna do a season 1 recap?
Why don't we add a recap to something else that we're doing?
Okay.
So
So,
let's.
but I don't want to give the audience too much to do, right? So let's.
Everyone's gonna be watching Atlanta.
Okay. But I'm saying when does Atlanta come out?
The first.
Of March.
First,
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like next week.
Oh. Oh. Okay. Next week is gonna be tough to have an ep
That's fine.
because I'm going to do this. I'm going to do shows Thursday through Sunday, so I won't be back until Monday.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe we just watch. You watch season 1.
Maybe I'll catch up.
We
and
watch
then-
the new one, and then we start there. We don't need it. Everybody.
Oh, that's good. So we'll do recap of first season, and then we'll talk about
Sure.
first episode.
Sure. That could be one. Yeah.
I got to be honest with you guys. I'm not too hyped.
Yo, listen,
Dude.
I wasn't either, and
You.
it blew me away.
Son, this show put Jack out of a job, and he was fine with it. That's how good it was.
I don't know what that. If
The
any
music.
consolation, Rescue Me is like one of my favorite shows. So just don't know.
Yeah, it's not. But thanks.
All right.
No, he loves us.
Yo, I did. I watched that shit in Iraq. I should have had.
It's not. But thanks, bro.
How many hits you want? That was it. Oh, fuck.
He didn't work on that show.
Tell me that.
No, I was like a.
You were like what, 10?
Yeah, I was rocking.
All right.
Those are the beginning days.
Yeah.
All right, so we're definitely gonna do Atlanta then.
So
Not
why
next
don't we
week.
do one of these things that we talked about Time or Icarus? What is Icarus? Tell me what Icarus is. Matter of fact,
Icarus-
we're gonna do Icarus. Sell us.
Icarus is a Netflix documentary that got nominated for the Oscar. Could potentially win. It's about this guy who starts interviewing, going into a doping scandal, and ends up uncovering the Russian.
So he's a amateur cyclist.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, you
high
did
as
watch it.
Fuck. Do not watch it high as fuck. It was so hard to pay attention. So, and I put that on me.
One hand washes the other. So
I put.
I gotta,
What do you mean?
I'm gonna watch a movie. You gotta,
Oh, you got to get high. Well,
Yeah,
I
we
couldn't
gotta
pay
go.
attention. Why? What happened?
it's 11.
Oh.
No,
that
it's
shit's
10,
bad.
right?
That
Yeah.
shit's bad.
So guy, what he does is he does this amateur tournament in I think France or something like that.
I haven't seen it. I've just
Oh,
heard
you
about
haven't
it.
seen
No,
it? I
haven't
thought you saw it.
No.
Okay, so just to set it up, does this amateur tournament and but it's like one of these Tour de France type shits, but it kind of amateur / pro. Some guys are there, and he comes in like 10th, and he like can't believe it, and he's like, wait, so if I'm at 10th now, what if I start doing steroids? So he goes around, finds some doctors that will hook him up with a steroid regimen. One guy's like, I'll do it, but I could get in trouble. I don't want to. I'm going to pass you over to this other guy. He passes him off to this Russian guy who ends up being Putin's
Yeah.
state-sanctioned
That's crazy.
Russian, whatever. And
He
he's
stumbles upon this.
he just
bigger
stumbles
thing.
into his lap, and he ends up doing his cycling thing while the investigation is happening. So he's interviewing the guy while the shit is going down in Russia.
Yeah.
So it is, you can't believe that these two timelines are happening at the same time. That's one potential one. Indiana Jones, I think, is
We're gonna do a rewatch
Well,
of Indiana
nah.
Jones.
just one, just the first one.
Well, the last one's the best.
Okay, fair enough. Then About Time is the
It's the Rachel McAdams and Tom Hall Gleason movie. It's like a touching movie.
It's me and Rachel McAdams.
It's you.
It's
Yes,
Jack
it's
and
Jack
Rachel.
from Star Wars, the redhead from
What's
Star
the name
Wars.
of the movie?
About Time. This movie is so good.
It's
We're gonna watch
a young Margot Robbie. She's still young, but like this was like one of
Wait,
her early.
She's in it?
She's in it.
No
and
way.
She's like.
Was he cracking
She is.
cheeks? Wait a minute, is that the one?
Dude, she is.
That's the one that he was trying to, and then at some point, whatever.
Dude, she
Whatever.
is fucking incredible.
But yo, this was
Yeah.
like she was, because now Margot Robbie tries to like play down her looks a lot in roles. She was still like trying to like
Well,
come
make
up.
it,
She
yeah.
was trying to like come
Yeah.
up and be
She
a
wanted
dime.
that Weinstein look.
She was fantastic.
All right. So we got to decide. We're definitely okay. So Atlanta's definite.
Atlanta.
When did About
Atlanta.
Time come out? This is a while ago.
It's a while
Few
ago,
years
yeah.
ago.
Here's what's perfect about Atlanta. It brings us right into Westworld.
So then why don't we just stick with Atlanta? That's it.
Yo,
We'll
Atlanta's
get-
something. But yo, let's all watch Icarus and talk about it.
I was gonna recommend this documentary series called Wormwood, which is on
I
Netflix now.
saw that shit. How long is it? How many? It's got to be one.
six.
How long is each episode?
That's a big
6 hours.
investment.
6 hours.
6 hours?
Yeah, you just talked
Fine,
about
you're
how you
watching
watch-
it 18
I'm
hours.
with you.
Vietnam.
Look
He
at
said it's
him.
18 hours Vietnam documentary. He's not willing to watch a 6-hour.
I'm willing
conspiracy.
to. It's him.
I'm thinking more about the audience.
All right, so let's. Atlanta's a half hour.
What is Wormwood about?
Wormwood. Long story short, it's basically about MK Ultra, the government experiment
Sanctioned.
to kind of experiment with LSD on certain operatives and then cover it up with.
And what
I'm into
what did
that.
okay, this is kind of fire. What did they want to do with that?
That's the question.
And
I don't want to spoil anything.
all right, I'm in. Fuck it.
It's really good.
All right, so
It's
watch
Errol Morris.
Wormwood.
He's like the OG documentary filmmaker. It's really good.
Okay.
Watch Wormwood. Watch
West-
Atlanta.
Also, it's cool. Stylistically, it's cool because they blend narrative with the real storytelling. So like Sarsgaard, what's his name?
Yeah, Pierce Skarsgård.
He's the other Sarsgaard, the Maggie Gyllenhaal Skarsgård. Anyway,
Maggie
There's-
Gyllenhaal got a Skarsgård?
she got a Skarsgård.
what?
Yeah, everybody's getting the Skarsgård.
Maggie
She's
Gyllenhaal's
not-
very
she's not fine enough
attractive.
to have a
She's
How many
very-
Skarsgårds?
He's not the good. He's not a Skarsgård.
Isn't it Skarsgård?
Oh, he's got the name.
He's a different Skarsgård.
How many fucking Skarsgårds
That's
are
a good
there?
question. That might be a separate podcast. Anyway, Wormwood's worth checking out.
Okay.
All right. So what are we gonna tell people? Definitely catch up in Atlanta, and we're gonna start doing. Watch Atlanta as a family with us. All right. We're gonna start doing Atlanta, and that's gonna come that first week.
Yep.
And then after that, we're not gonna do more than just Atlanta.
Yeah, you can't. I don't think
That's
you could have
the-
enough to really
If
talk
we
about.
wanted, we could sprinkle a little bit.
They're half-hour episodes. Like, how much are we really going to talk about
Yeah.
Atlanta?
Well, Atlanta's pretty dense. Like, there's like what I like about Atlanta. I think what you're gonna
You
find
can
is
really
like
break down scenes.
is like, but it's also like it's not as one-dimensional as like a standard. I guess you could call Atlanta a sitcom, but it's not. It's really good.
Is that good?
It's a good, man, because it's not what you think it
Smart.
is.
It's funny.
It's
All right, man.
satire.
We're watching it as a family. Let's go. We're gonna start Atlanta. That's gonna be the first one, and then I think once we start Atlanta, we're not gonna ask you guys to watch too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't give them 14
All right,
books.
how about this?
Let's just
We
start with Atlanta.
We watch Wormwood and we talk about it. And if whoever wants to watch it beforehand, or you could hear us talk about it, maybe you'll get interested in it. Let us.
We're already asking people to watch a whole series.
It's a half hour a week. Atlanta's a half hour a week.
Yeah, but they gotta catch
They're
up for the
watching
first
it anyway.
season. Everybody's on it.
Everyone's on it.
Everyone's on it.
You're the only person I know who hasn't watched it.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
I don't watch comedy.
You should be
I know. This
I
whole
watch- I'm
whole
watching
comedy
comedy.
thing, I get it.
But it's good. It's not even real. You could say it's not
Plausible
even really comedy. It is comedy,
deniability. I like it.
What is that?
Yeah.
That way you
That
can't
means you
get
can't
jacked-
steal anyone
accused of
else's shit.
stealing.
It's absolutely true.
Right. And you'd be like, "Oh, I'm on record. I didn't take it from you. I haven't watched a comedy since
Oh
'87."
no. Like I don't want to be influenced.
I know. I get that.
Like
or pissed off if you see something that you have.
doing my shit.
Yeah.
That shit is heartbreaking. You work fucking years on a bit or months, and then all of a sudden you see something. But
You guys talk about Chris Rock and Brilliant Idiots?
I haven't even watched it yet. I'm hesitant.
I
Good.
fell asleep for 20
Tambourine?
minutes during it.
What?
Tambourine. Good.
Pretty
It's
good.
not like his best, but he's got some really good
Chappelle
shit.
level. Like if you're
No.
comparing the Netflix specials.
No.
No, I think the Chappelle special is better.
I
It
can't
is.
watch Chappelle, man. It's too good. He's so good, and
Pisses
it
you off?
it makes me like. I view that as the pinnacle of what comedy is, and then I'm going on stage like trying to do what the
Oh, it got in your
pinnacle of.
head.
It's just like it got me for like literally 2 or 3 weeks. It got me away from what I do,
Wow.
and I wasn't trying to recreate Chappelle, but like my
That's a
timing,
testament to
my
how good it
pacing
is.
was
In your
different.
head.
Bro, it was in my fucking head, man, and then luckily I was doing a show where I was forced to interact with the audience, and when you interact with the audience, you have no choice but to be you.
Out of your
Right.
head. Yeah.
You have to be your true self because that's the only weapon you have in that moment, right? And in that moment, I was able to get back to what I was like, okay, this is what the fuck I do. But this has happened with me with Chappelle before, and it's why like I'm hesitant.
I get it.
But he's that good.
Testament to how good he is. Yeah.
Fuck. I think what I'll do in the future is not listen to it. I'll watch it with subtitles.
Ooh.
His
Yeah, that
voices
sounds-
are
that's-
so damn
yeah,
funny.
that
I
sounds-
know.
That sounds
His
like an
voices
awful
are so.
idea.
But his ideas are what I care about. I don't care about the laughs. I'm more just
Look,
like
you'll watch it and you'll be saying it in the Chappelle voice.
You're
It'll
right.
be like not even like worth it.
okay, so we're doing Atlanta, and then what is it called? Wormwood?
Yeah. Let's check it out. If you guys aren't into it, we don't have to do it, but I would.
Yo,
say
we'll watch it. If it sucks and we won't talk about it.
About Time's not the one with Channing Tatum in it.
No.
in it, right?
No, that's
I don't even
time
know.
traveler's boyfriend or something.
I really feel strongly
I don't know
about
what
asking people to do one thing.
What's that?
All right.
I feel strongly about it. It's a lot.
You feel strong about asking yourself to do one.
No, it's not that. It's not that because I saw Dark and I saw Altered Carbon, and these are two shows that people have been asking us to do.
Dark is
Altered
dope.
Carbon.
Yeah, is that shit trash? Trash.
Trash. Yo,
You
here's
like
my.
Dark?
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. First of all, Dark is so fucking good.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
It's so good. I want you all to watch it, but it's one
Now,
of those
that's
things.
a commitment because it's subtitled and like, you have to like.
I'll tell you
it's
why
a
I like
singular
it better.
focused show.
I'll tell you why I like that better. Is because it's subtitled, it forces you not to be on your phone.
Right.
And then you're actually invested in this show, and you're learning about these characters, and you're learning about what's going on. You're not half paying attention and trying to figure shit out. Also, if you tried to be on your phone while you watch Dark,
Can't.
it's like with Game of Thrones. It's like, wait, what is happening? You'd be totally lost.
Everybody's on their fucking phones now.
I'm saying subtitles are the way to go. This is how much.
That's not the answer. You can't say that.
What is that?
The subtitles are the way. to
No,
go.
no, they're not. But it is a nice way to watch something where you're completely engrossed
forced to get
and
invested,
invested. I enjoyed it. So here's the thing about Dark. I want to tell the audience to watch Dark. I want to tell them to watch Altered Carbon, but it is a 10-hour commitment. Each of them.
Let's be nice and tell them not to watch Altered Carbon. Let's just.
Fair enough. So it's one of those things where like I'm very delicate what I ask you to watch. If that's why I'm saying let's start. Why don't we start with a doc or Atlanta, which is good. Just 1 hour. Let's all watch it together, and then let's build up.
So Atlanta's perfect. You know why?
You're just planting a seed. We're just planting a seed.
So
Okay, fair
in the case of that, let's just go with Atlanta. Half hour, easy, digestible. Talk about it each week.
Yeah.
We prep them for jumping to an hour when we get to Westworld each week, and then we go from there.
We could probably watch Atlanta here.
Yo, the first season is 4 hours.
Total.
Total.
Oh, it's only 8 episodes?
8 episodes,
Half hour, yeah.
4 hours.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So you can watch that. Like you could literally watch it in one sitting.
And okay, that's great. Okay, so let's do Atlanta, and then you guys have the other things on deck. What we might go to,
Right.
and then we'll go from there.
Figure it out.
Word.
But you didn't like Altered Carbon?
I love sci-fi, but what Altered Carbon made me realize, other than Blade Runner, is that I need sci-fi to be grounded in some kind of reality. And Altered Carbon was just, to me, it just came out as nonsense. It was just all these concepts and all these things that was like, what?
Yeah.
There's flying cars, and there's an Asian dude who's now a white guy, and there's like all. It was.
Yeah.
I wasn't into it.
I got high as shit and watched Blade Runner, and that shit was awesome.
The new one? Or the old
That's
one?
the new
original?
one.
Yeah, the new one's great.
That
Blade Runner's-
shit was fantastic.
But Blade Runner, the reason why it works is because it's rooted in like noir, and it's rooted in like a.
So good.
Is it on
That's
Netflix?
that's another director
that's-
That's
on
another
like-
director I really
that
like.
dude,
Google
that
Play.
dude's
Denis
amazing. Denis
Villeneuve.
Villeneuve, yeah.
That's another
$5.99.
director I really fuck with.
Yeah, he's great.
Him and Coogler would probably be my favorites out.
It's only a matter of time before he does one of those big. I mean, he did Blade Runner, but
No, you're a big PTA guy.
I'm not a big
Yo,
PTA
Phantom
guy.
Thread?
I do like. I haven't watched it yet.
it's great.
Good?
I can lend it to you. Yeah, it's really good.
I'm what? I have it. I have it.
Yo, don't just read.
Hold on, you guys
Bro,
watching a movie
bro,
about a
I have it.
Bro,
seamstress?
read like the summary
no,
of
no,
it.
okay, okay,
And I almost
okay.
fell off the chair
Okay,
laughing
okay.
that that's the movie he was referencing.
Okay.
Why? What is it?
Okay,
what
okay,
does it
It's
say?
not good.
Daniel Day-Lewis plays a costume designer. He plays he's like a dressmaker.
Yeah.
But it's
Out.
wait. But wait.
But Daniel
Here's the
Day-Lewis
brilliance of it.
doesn't have
Here's the
you
brilliance of it.
I want
I
him.
read
I
that.
want
Is
him.
he
I want him
sewing
stabbing
it?
Irish guys on the Lower East Side.
Yeah.
That's
Here's
what
the
I want to
thing.
see.
Is he
Here's the
sewing
thing.
the dress with his left foot? That's the only way
I was
I'll
with you
watch
guys.
this movie.
Sat down and watched it. I got totally absorbed, engrossed. It was great. And then I called my buddy and I was like, "Yo, you gotta check out Phantom Thread." And he goes, "Handsome Fred?" And I go, "All right, never mind."
Can you tell me why I should watch it? Besides,
And for the record, it's not getting the official Westerbros endorsement.
Because it's the same. All right, so just like I was like, I fuck with
Jack went
Coogler
rogue.
and Michael B. Jordan because of their first two movies. This is the same people that did There Will Be Blood.
The same
Paul
person.
Thomas Anderson, Daniel Day-Lewis.
He's
Have
an
you ever seen
auteur.
There Will Be Blood.
yeah, I loved it. Actually, I
Same-
wouldn't say loved it, but I liked it.
Boogie Nights, There Will Be Blood, Magnolia.
Okay, but
The
what?
Master.
Okay, that's great. It's about a guy who makes
But it's
blouses.
It's not. It's really about an artist and his love interest and how struggling to be an artist and being in a relationship can affect.
Dude, we get it. Fashion is art. We get it.
Hold on. So this is about a guy
So
who
it's a more artistic
sews
whiplash?
shit.
I took away. It's not about the dress.
How much
part.
sewing do I need to watch?
There's not a lot of sewing. It's about the relationship between this guy and his girl and how
Hold on. But he's a guy who makes dresses, but he likes women.
he's very difficult. He's very set in his ways in terms of how he goes about each day. And he's like a world. It's in the 50s.
Yeah.
And it's like a world-renowned dressmaker, and this this chick comes in.
No,
and,
Dad, just stop. Just stop. No.
I'm starting to get numb to dressmakers. So like,
Just
keep
stop.
going.
Keep going.
Because
Give me
you
something
can't
else.
tell the synopsis of the story. Just be like, I'm gonna watch it because I trust the people that made the movie.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna see. To me, this is like Steph Curry can hit an open three all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes he just wants to shoot it over his head from half court, just to try to challenge himself. All right, I'm gonna check it out. I feel like I don't see how it could be good, but fuck it, man. You guys have earned equity with me, and I'm gonna watch the movie. That's
So
it. That's how I feel.
you're saying it's great,
it was one of my favorite movies of this year.
better than Black Panther, or worse?
Well, that's not this. I'm talking about the award season.
Oh, okay.
But no, not even in the same. We're talking about totally different movies.
Yeah.
I don't even consider it like. I look at the like Oscar movies, the art house movies, as totally different than I look at like these kind of things.
I agree.
I kind of want to like watch this live on Twitch.
Well, Phantom Thread.
Yeah.
With
I
the
would be
camera
willing to
just
do
on
that.
your.
I
bed.
want to watch it while we're being videotaped so we can give commentary about this.
That could be fun.
That would be,
I'd be interested in that.
yeah.
I
could
can
be
hate
fun
watching
for
a
any of
movie
these.
with the best of them.
Dude, hate watching a movie?
It's the best.
We might have to add that, a little dynamic to
A
it.
good movie to do that would be with is Call Me by Your Name, because there's just a lot of like.
No, I'm not.
I haven't seen
I'm
that
not
either.
going after the gays. Come on, man.
Hold on. I
I'm not
loved
doing
Call Me
that.
by Your Name. I love
I
that.
heard it was
movie.
great. I haven't seen
Which
it.
is why you want to hate watch it then?
I know, I say that's a good movie to do it because
You saw
there's
that
a
little
lot
Egyptian
of,
slip
there's just
out?
a lot of like there's a lot of long scenes.
A good movie to do it about to call me by your There's so many movies.
What?
There's like a lot of like dead space in the movie where you can talk.
Okay.
Why, when the guys are just getting
There's a lot of bike
stroked?
rides. There's a lot of random bike rides going on in that movie.
wait, are guys just getting pounded in that movie or what?
There's one of the most
Some
awkward
sex scenes?
sexual movie scenes I've ever seen.
Is it the thing with the apple?
the peach?
The peach. Yeah,
Wait,
I heard about
what?
that. Yeah.
Son,
He puts a peach in
let's
his...
No.
wrap it up. Let's just wrap this up.
No, tell me. I got it.
I haven't
Now
seen
I'm
it,
in.
but I heard that
Now
it's
I'm
like
in.
an American Pie situation where,
He's fucking a peach?
and then the guy eats it, right?
Oh, that's not that weird.
That's kind of weird.
Does he nut in the peach? That's
He's
peaches and
nuts
cream.
in the peach.
Why
Peaches
would
and
you do
cream,
that?
dude. That's what that 111 song was about.
Well, I mean, listen. If you're into,
Little different.
if you're into,
No, that's it.
If you're into nut, you're gonna be into nut in a peach.
Yo, that's a great point.
You
If
know
you're
what I'm saying?
already
No,
like
he
a
like
guy's
literally
nut,
jerks off with the peach.
yeah. And what
if
we're
you
trying to
already
say,
what if you already like nut and dick, and you have with a peach?
that just makes it better.
That just makes it better.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good pairing. It would seem
Like, for example, you like Nutella, no?
right.
Yes.
And imagine someone was like, you want to eat that with some peach? What are you going to be like, ugh?
Right?
No, you're going to be like, that's great. It's a great thing to do.
You not get it?
Fair. No, I get it.
Okay.
My friend of mine who saw the movie
Don't make
said,
the peach the villain here.
a friend of mine who saw the movie said, he thought he was like, I couldn't fuck with that scene. And I was like, let me ask you a question: if a girl did that to you, like you nut on something and she ate it, how would you feel? He goes, I'd be turned the fuck on.
Yeah, I'd be on
It
one
just-
knee. Took my whole life to find someone that's sexually enlightened. Out of here, bro. That and if someone ever tried to kill my ex-girlfriend, like another girl loved me that much, I would fucking marry her too.
Hold on. You never dated Latinas?
Not enough. I'll be honest with you. I mean, dude, that type of loyalty lasts a lifetime.
True. Unfortunately.
So you know what I'm
Because
saying?
you could be done
Well,
with
I
it.
want someone who's like, I don't know, like stimulates me intellectually, then she's fucking some other guy in 3 years. No, I want the girl with the peach or the guy who's willing to kill my ex-girlfriend. It's easy. These are easy choices that we fuck up all the time.
I don't know if I'd want a girl to eat my nut after I do it.
I mean, she swallows you.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm cool with it just going in and then there. But you know that thing where they spit it back in their hand and then they slurp it back out? Like, I don't like it to touch the air and then you eat it. Like, I don't like when I nut on them and then they take some and they eat it and they like trying to be sexy.
Yeah, see, like,
But like, I put it on your tits for that, just for it to be there.
yeah, I'm gonna disagree, respectfully.
So you like seeing it and then being slurped.
I gotta be honest with you, like, no one's ever really done that in front of me, but I think I'd be pretty pleased if it happened.
I'm telling you, it's just odd. You're just like, they're like doing that.
I mean, she's committed. She's giving you a show.
Yeah, but it doesn't need. For me personally, I'm not. It's just.
It's not for you. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of gross. Cum.
I'm
Correct.
not gonna argue that.
Like cum is only cool when it's coming out. You know what I mean? Like,
Hence
wha-
the name.
Yeah. I'm just saying, while it's coming out, you're like, okay, that's dope.
That's great.
But immediately after,
Yeah, regret, shame, and other things. Should have
Just
wore a condom.
all
those
the
things,
time.
All those things.
dude, all the time, should have
Do
worn
I
a
have
condom.
Do I have HIV? That's the question, right? That's
How
just
much
me.
is this gonna cost?
You know.
So Black Panther was dope.
Yo, Black Panther, Mimi, I'm sorry you had to listen to this. My
Black
grandma
Panther
loves
was
the podcast.
dope.
Yo,
Does she listen to it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Your grandma?
Yeah.
Oh
Whoa.
man, she knows
Sorry.
what that's like.
Ooh.
Just joking.
Where I wanted to go with this.
She could be into porn.
Oh,
Who
boy.
knows? This is, this is a different world we live in these days. I'm not going to judge any old person or young person what their sexual proclivities might be. All I'm saying is we're not here to shame. Whatever life you live, may you live it to the best.
All right. I mean, you did shame people who like nut once it
Yo,
tastes.
I was just trying to save myself, dog. I was trying to save myself. All right, that's been Westerbros. Watch those shows. We'll see you soon.
Let's do it. All right.